NBC Sports, in association with NASCAR, presents Round 7 in the chase for the Nextel Cup. Today, it's NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing from Atlanta, presented by the Home Depot. Hi, everybody. Bill Weber along with Wally Dunlap and Benny Parsons. Thanks for having us in for the... Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR, is the proud sponsor of the Budweiser Pole Award, given the fastest qualifier at each NASCAR Nextel Cup Series race. But qualifying here was canceled because of rain. Second time this season it has been canceled. And there are the guys in the Bud Shootout when we get to Daytona in February. Here is today's Harley-Davidson starting grid. The top 10 drivers in the chase start up front.
Kevin Harvick and Matt Kenseth, and this is going to be easy to follow the chase drivers here for a while.
Sure is. Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin in row 2.
Back in row 3, Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Mark Martin and Casey Kane will fill out row 4.
And then we find Jeff Gordon and his teammate at Hendrick Motorsports, Kyle Busch.
Take a look at the rest of the starting grid. The chasers start in the top 10 spots. Benny's on the radio.
Mark Martin, Benny Parsons, you got me?
Yeah, Benny, I got you.
All right, you gained a few points at Martinsville last week. You're 96 back. Is that too many to make up in the next 4 races?
Oh, man, we're in this thing. We just need to win today. That's what we're going to be shooting for here. We didn't have any luck with our practice yesterday. So AAA team just threw up under this thing to set up from the spring where we ran second with. We're hoping that that'll be the trick today.
So you took all that stuff out your practice and went back with a spring setup.
Yeah, we hadn't even practiced on this deal. We just never did get the car going on the other stuff, that newfangled stuff, you know. So we're going to be running old school here today and hoping that it works well for this track today.
We'll be watching you. Thanks, Mark.
Mark Barton, one of the 10 drivers in the chase for the Nextel Cup Championship. Just 4 races to go, including this 500-mile race today here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Take a look at the rest of the starting grid, the guys that will have to come from deep in the field. And again, qualifying here was rained out, so the field was set by the NASCAR rulebook. 4 drivers didn't make the race. Robbie Gordon, Ken Schrader, and Bill Elliott all have to drop to the back of the field. Drivers coming to get the green. Who's the most nervous person here today, BP?
The guy that built the engine in every one of those cars, because Atlanta is tough on engines. They turn them over 9,000 RPMs down the straightaway, but in the corner, they don't drop down to much less than 7,500, 8,000 RPMs. That's a huge RPM for 500 miles for a pushrod engine.
Rained here on Friday, was chilly yesterday. The sun came out late yesterday afternoon. It's a beautiful day in Atlanta. 500 miles for the stars of the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. The chasers in the top 10 spots. Here we go.
And I tell you what, this race is pretty spirited because every one of these top 10 drivers would love to get the 5 bonus points you get for leading a lap. And it looks like it might be Harvick.
And it was. Kevin Harvick leads lap number 1. Denny Hamlin in the 11, a little different look. Carrying the FedEx Cup colors this week on his 11 machine, looking back at Jimmy Johnson. Dale Earnhardt Jr. around Johnson. Out front. Let's check with Dave.
And Bill, you guys talked about it. So important to lead a lap and get those 5 bonus points. Kevin has not had any laps in the chase since his dominating win at New Hampshire. That was the first race of the chase. He's been skunked ever since in the laps led category.
Boy, look at that 8 car. Junior is going somewhere, Wally.
And you know what, these guys, it's fun to see already here at Atlanta. They're using all the racetrack already. It's not like, well, the groove is going to move up. It's already up there. These guys are already 3 wide, especially down in 3 and 4. So far, Junior's moving forward. Marty, what's he saying?
Well, he's very happy with the race car, as you would imagine. That's based on practice yesterday. They had a run right before the end of practice. Junior said he liked. The last run they did, he didn't like so much, so they put it back to how they were earlier. If there's a racetrack Junior loves, this is it. Just what you talked about, Wally. Trouble.
Car around. He just got way high going into turn 3. The car got away from him, just clipped the 25 car Vickers.
All right, guys, get ready.
And he was up there all by himself. The car looked like it got a little bit loose. He got really, really high, kept it off the wall.
First caution of the day
4 tires here, guys. 4
was
tires.
running in the 8th spot.
And he is trying to pass Casey Kane, that 9 car, on the outside. And you're right, Wally, it looks like he just got some of that loose stuff, the debris up there, and around he goes.
Right in front of Jeff.
Oh, and he just barely caught the front of that car. He almost got away with it.
Almost got away with it. Just, he tried saving it there, and he had to turn it off the wall just a little bit.
Look at Burton right there.
A lot of guys just going through blindly. You just watch the smoke when you're going through here. I mean, this is what you see when something happens. Well, he was actually lucky because he saw the 5 car going down the racetrack, so he knew if he didn't move, it'd be gone by the time he got there.
It's the second week in a row he's had trouble early, although this time it looks like Burton got through without any damage. A week ago, ran into the back of Nemechek.
But that looked exactly like Kansas when the 12 car, Ryan Newman, spun in front of Burton,
that's right.
and he couldn't see anything.
Pit road is open. None of the leaders are coming. We'll step out. Bass Pro Shops 500 underway at the Atlanta Motor Speedway live on NBC.
Wally, I'm impressed with that 24 car because as badly as they struggled yesterday, I wonder if they were going to make it, but here he is battling Jimmy Johnson's teammate for the 5th position.
Top 27 cars did not come down pit road. Brian Vickers did stay out. We'll get an update on that. Dale Jarrett in the 88, too fast exiting. Tail end of the longest line. He's 42nd.
And you see the 24 down on the bottom of Denny Hamlin takes that spot away. So maybe some of that head scratching down there did him some good.
It looks like it. That's the 4th position.
Update on the 24 from Allen.
Yeah, Bill, it's going to be an interesting day to watch Jeff Gordon. Steve Letarte, the crew chief, told me this morning that 90% of the chassis setup under this car is what they've been running throughout these summer months and running well with. But 10% of the setup are things they found in a test at the Homestead Miami Speedway recently that they think not only can help make them faster here, but might help their teammate Jimmy Johnson be faster over the final 3 races beyond today. They're not necessarily considering themselves one of the threats to win the title, though they haven't given up, but they think what they find today might help their teammate who's a little farther up in points. Be interesting to see how it goes.
It will be, and Steve Letarte said this morning in the garage that they've already got their cars lined up for the final races after today.
Got Earnhardt taking a look on the outside, going to take the lead away from Kevin Harvick.
And he will come by and get those 5 bonus points. We talk about 5 bonus points like it's a lot, but in this business, it is a lot.
Marty?
Yes, Bill, as I was telling Wally before the caution came out a moment ago, Junior just loves this racetrack, and he loves it because of what Wally talked about. You can run all over this racetrack, but what Junior really likes to do, he likes the high line in 3 and 4, and in 1 and 2, kind of the middle group. Sometimes he'll run the bottom, but he doesn't go up to the very top in 1 and 2 until the very end of the run. You see him sort of in the middle there. He likes it 1 lane higher on those older tires, but he loves just running all over this racetrack. And Wally, I know you guys, you drivers just love to be able to run all over a racetrack, don't you?
Yeah, and if you watch Junior, I mean, a lot of the places like on this mile-and-a-half racetrack, he likes to run really, really high, especially getting off the corners. He likes to run that high line. And if you can get your car to handle, it's fast that way because you carry a lot of momentum off the corners. That's what's real important at a place like Atlanta here, is not to bog the car down. So that's where Junior likes to run. If Junior's car is comfortable, he's going to be tough to beat because he's very good at running that line. See right there how he just kind of just stays along that wall on the outside. You've got to have a good car to do that. But if you do, it's going to be fast.
Talking to Tony Eury Jr. this morning, some of those guys on the A crew were saying that car is going to take a couple of laps to get up to speed, but when it does, it's going to go.
Well, so far they were truthful.
Right on it. Harvick in second. An update from Dave. He's being challenged by the 17.
And he goes back to the bottom, Bill. He had tried the high line for a couple of laps there, something that Kevin doesn't like to do, something crew chief Todd Barrier told me he rarely even asked Kevin to try. But spotter had told him that the 17 and the 48 were running up there, and they ought to try it. Kevin now dropping back down to the inside because he feels like that's where his car will work better.
Hey, Dave, that was a fun interview in the countdown to green.
Well, you know, it wasn't exactly us who had been talking about Kevin making this trip.
Right.
And
But you
perhaps, but I took the brunt of the blow, didn't we?
Way
Yes.
to be a team player. Oh, 3 wide.
Yep, and he's going to get past right here. And obviously the guys don't feel like missing just a little practice yesterday will affect them. Most of these guys are going to be working hard on their cars all day long because this place will change.
Exactly right. Probably have about 10 chances to make your car a little bit better today.
And Mike, we should talk about Tony Stewart in that 20 car, because here's a guy that's going to be running the bottom of the racetrack probably most of the day. He's going to make it work down there, and so far it's working very well for him.
And getting back to what you said, Bill, about 10 chances, you hope it doesn't take that many times, because this place is, it's a terrifying racetrack to drive when your car's not handling. I mean, you are just flying down into the corners here, well over 200 miles per hour into these corners, and it's just, you want the car to handle, you want it to stick. So, well, you want it to be right when the green flag drops, because it could be a long day if it isn't.
And Mark Martin has fallen back to the 12th spot, but really maybe that's not that bad for him, because he was a really unhappy gentleman yesterday.
He was very, very unhappy. We look at in the middle of the corner, we'll see Tony Stewart goes down to 7,600 RPMs. And let's watch as he goes down the back straightaway in this 20 car. 86, 8, 89, 91, 93, almost 9,400 RPMs. That's maximum, but minimum a 76, 7,700. This is an engine builder's nightmare. Matt.
BP, you can see the 20 of Tony Stewart changing up his lanes a little bit. Now, he was a little free in the final practice, so they made some small tweaks to the 20 car's first 500-mile win of any kind came here back in 2002, but the biggest day that he's had this year really took place yesterday when he scored the Crown Royal International Race of Champions Championship, joining historic names like A.J. Foyt, Petty, Donahue, the Unsers. Everyone is a huge accomplishment, and now he'd like to pay off the weekend with a win here in the Nextel Cup. He says the car, not too bad, just a tick on the free side. Marty?
Well, Matt, the boys in the booth were asking about Mark Martin. Do you guys want the good news or the bad news on Mark Martin?
Yes.
Give me the good news.
Okay, I'll give you the good news, BP. The good news is Mark says the major problem they had in practice yesterday is fixed. The bottoming out is gone. They were just really hitting the racetrack hard in practice yesterday. The bad news is, he said, I'm not as fast in an early run as these other guys are, but I will be, quote, sure and steady. We'll be good at the end of a run. Just a little bit too loose for Mark, but he's very confident on old tires. He'll be able to keep up with those front runners.
Tony Stewart to second, chasing Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chasers run in 7 of the top 8 spots. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the leader in the race, came here 2 years ago in the chase for the Nextel Cup Championship. Ended up in a nasty wreck with Carl Edwards. Hoping for better luck today.
Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch. Jack Link's Jerky. Feed your wilds.
Here's a guy that's in the zone today, Tony Stewart. He's the new race leader. Got around Dale Earnhardt Jr. and took the lead, and it didn't take long. Running extremely fast laps.
And watch this. He goes down in turn 1. It looks like he's running 40 miles per hour faster than the 8 car. Takes the lead with ease. As a matter of fact, Junior has fallen back to the 3rd position now. Jeff Gordon, the 24 car, has gotten by the 8 as well.
The drivers in yellow on the ticker at the top of the screen are the 10 drivers in the chase for the Nextel Cup. Let's take you through the field, and here's Matt.
And Dale out front is Big Orange, Tony Stewart. Now, he really hasn't said much about the handling of the race car, just concerned about the changing weather, because this is a weather temperature track that is very sensitive, and we are going to see drastic changes in the track temperature today. And his team left him a little note on the dash, chasing his 2nd Atlanta win. It said, hardware space available, and that means in the front of the transporter, on the way home from Atlanta. AB?
Jeff Gordon started ninth, moved quickly up to second in this race. Interesting thing to think about for later in the day. This race will finish after sunset, under the lights. Jeff Gordon's crew chief Steve Letarte told me this morning, I don't want to be the guy that's fastest when the sun's out, because that means I'll have a hard time being fastest when it's dark. Marty?
Well, Dave, Dale Earnhardt Jr. admitted earlier this week he had a hard time letting go of what he called an over-aggressive mistake at Martinsville. So Tony Eury Jr. and Steve Mill, team managers for Dale Earnhardt Jr., went over to his house earlier this week, talked to him, said, listen, we all make mistakes, but the best thing to do to help us win this championship, let it go. Atlanta's one of our best tracks. We need to run well there. Matt?
The guy on a roll is Jimmy Johnson, a second 2 weeks ago. The win at Martinsville really turned around the momentum for this team. Jimmy said the car was good before the caution, but now says it's a little loose on entry. Feels like it's on top of the racetrack. Doesn't have a good a feel as it did earlier. Alan?
Denny Hamlin driving the same car that he had some problems with here in March, finished back in 31st. He ran in the top 5 for much of the day then had some late issues, lost a couple laps on pit road, never could get them back. They feel like they can get another top 5 performance out of this car today. We'll see how the afternoon goes. Matt Kenseth started on pole. He has slipped back now to the 6th position in the opening laps. Let's let him tell you what his car's doing.
Balance is okay, I just don't have any grip. Sliding all over the track. All right, 10-4. It's a little loose in, a little loose off. The center's okay, just no grip.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. on pit road, and this is unscheduled, Marty.
Bill, all he said on the radio was, I have a bad vibration. Now remember, they had a problem here in the spring, also with a tire going down. They went down a lap, made up that lap through the lucky dog, were still able to finish 3rd in that race. Very calmly, Tony Eury Jr. said on the radio, bring it to pit road now, not worth us making a mistake here. They thought it was the left rear. To me, the left rear looked up, though. We'll check the pressures on those tires. Clearly, though, Jr. will go down a lap here. We'll have to make it up.
Well, it's like a light switch there on his lap times. I was watching his lap times, and all of a sudden he lost like a half a second to 3/4 of a second from like what Tony Stewart was running. So something, he felt something, and it went bad for like 7 or 8 laps in a row, and he just decided, hey, something's wrong with this thing.
And all he can do is hope now that tires, in fact, did fix the problem.
Right.
Alan, this 99 looking good.
Yeah, let's keep going through the field, BP. Carl Edwards at his favorite racetrack. Talked to him before the race. His whole comments on the day were, I love this place. He's got a couple of wins here, running well so far, asking his team to keep him calm through the day, Matt.
And Jeff Burton started the day out 5th in the championship standings. And he says, you know, you can't read the headlines when you're the championship point leader, and you certainly can't read them when you lose the championship point lead. And that's exactly what I've done. Just not looked at the papers at all.
When we went into this thing, you know, nobody said the 31's going to win the championship. And I didn't care. When we got 5 races into it, you know, 30% of them were saying there's no question the 31's going to win the championship. And the other 70% were saying, well, they got a really good chance. Now 100% are saying they don't have a chance. So they don't know what they're talking about, and nor does anybody else. At the end of the day is we're going to go out and race as hard as we can. We believe that we've brought, with the exception of Martinsville, we've brought enough speed to the table to win the championship, and we believe we'll continue to do that.
Burton going on the offensive, but right now he is lacking grip, the same problem that he had with his race car in the final practice. Meanwhile, Martin Truex Jr. for the 2nd straight year ended the IROC season with a win right here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Would love to score his first Nextel Cup win. He says the car is free right now, but he's hoping as the fuel load burns off, it'll tighten the race car up more and more. Dave?
Matt, we've already mentioned that Kevin Harvick left a little early from practice yesterday to go win the race at Memphis. Todd Berrier told me that after that, they listened to their teammate in the 31, what the track conditions were, what incremental changes they were making to their car. It caused them to make the car tighter for the start of today's race. Well, not tight enough. The car very loose. That is why Kevin has gone backwards. Marty?
As advertised, Dave, Mark Martin getting a little bit better the longer we run here. He's picked up 2 spots in the last 15 laps or so. You know, I talked to Pat Tryson this morning about all the problems they were having on Saturday. He said, you know, if there's one racetrack where Mark Martin can make his car better, this is it, Atlanta. I know we can get a little bit better throughout the day, and I think we'll be good by the end of the night. Dale Earnhardt Jr., you saw go around Mark Martin. Tires very critical here, so with those fresh tires, he kind of looks like Superman out there. He's in 41st, but he is in position, I believe, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, to get the lucky dog if the caution does come out. They are still checking all 4 tires, still trying to find out if there was a tire down, but so far they have not found one.
Thanks, Marty. He's going to have a tough time getting the lucky dog because Tony Stewart is so fast. He's last lapping cars. So we just put Bill Elliott, Kenny Wallace, and Todd Bodine a lap down, and Earnhardt Jr. has scored 2 laps down currently. So it's going to be hard for Dale to get that lucky dog.
No, he's not. Okay, now he's 1 lap down. I think once it all settles out, he's 1 lap down. But yeah, he's got to catch Wallace and Todd Bodine to get in front of them, and then stay with the leader, because like you said, the leader's putting him down.
Tony Stewart out front, running really fast here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. 38 laps are complete. You're watching the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series live on NBC. Tony Stewart out front leads Jeff Gordon by 2.1 seconds. Then it's Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin, and Martin Truex Jr. in 5th. Yeah, we've been watching him. He's been passing cars left and right. He's got a good Hamlin race car. I mean, he passed Jeff Burton and Carl Edwards on the same lap. So the 1 car right now is on a rail.
And watch him go by Denny Hamlin for the 4th position. And I talked to Kevin Mannion, the crew chief, on this 1 car this morning, and he really believes, he believed then, and I'm sure he's seen nothing to change his mind. They're going to win the race today.
Yeah, they felt like they had a really good race car. Martin won the IROC race yesterday, so he gets around this racetrack good. It's not a bad thing to have Bass Pro Shops, I guess, on your hood. Matt?
Wally, I talked to Martin right before the IROC race yesterday, and he was so pumped up about his Nextel Cup car. He says, I really feel like it's the best car we've had. And if you throw out the past 2 weeks, a 31st at Charlotte, a 36th at Martinsville, where we had issues, we have really been on a roll. We really feel like this team has turned the corner, and very easily we can knock off a W before the year's out and get that check mark next to that big hole on my racing resume, so we can start next year and really take it up even more. Marty?
Well, Matt, just to follow up on the Dale Earnhardt Jr. story, I talked to Tony Eury Jr. All the tires were up on the 8 car. He said, but we had a vibration. I really couldn't chance it to leave him out there. I wanted to make sure we got that changed. They have since, the vibration has gone away ever since they did change the tires, so they're not sure what caused the vibration. But Wally, that's a driver's worst nightmare. You don't want to say, I've got a flat tire, hit pit road, and there not be a flat tire, right?
Yeah, but, you know, it's still your call. It's still your butt in the race seat. And that's the thing. If you think that you've got a problem and you're running 195, 200 miles per hour, that vibration normally isn't going to go away. So he made the right call. He made a call. He felt like he was in trouble.
Drivers love some tracks, some they're not so thrilled about. How does Junior feel about the Atlanta Motor Speedway?
I enjoyed the history of the track. My dad had a lot of success here, so won a lot of races here, and it just was always a track that I had a lot of. It seemed like one of the more respected tracks on the circuit when I was growing up as a kid, and then, you know, you put a lot of effort into that when you come here and race yourself. So I've just always kind of held it at pretty high standards, and really enjoyed coming here, even as a driver.
Earning decent laps right now, but Junior currently scored in the 35th position, 1 lap down.
See, he has a 30-lap advantage on tires. And it's unbelievable how much the drop-off is. Here we see Casey Kane, the 9 car.
Has not been running very well, Marty.
Yeah, guys, not quite the run the 9 team was expecting. Casey said the car feels loose, but it also feels tight at the same time. They're going to pull a spring rubber from the right rear. The car is loose, is what Kenny Francis is going to go with. Casey said, I do not like this set of tires. Also, in the last 4 laps, he said, I'm starting to pick up a vibration. A lot of concern down here on pit road, especially about these right fronts that people may be seeing the cords when they pull them off for the first time.
This a new tire combination, basically, compound for this race.
Well, they had some tire issues here in the spring. The tires were wearing out because this surface is very abrasive, kind of like Darlington. So Goodyear did, in fact, make a harder tire this time. They brought an all-new tire, has a Charlotte construction, harder compounds, but they still, as they slide across, when these tires slide across the racetrack, they still are going to wear them out.
See how that story unfolds. Matt.
And Bill Ryan Newman started today 17th. His worst start here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. All been top 10, but due to starting it by car and no points, it is what it is. The car was free, especially on entry. KB.
Matt Kenseth started first, fell back to 10th spot on this run. They have called him on to pit road here for a 4-tire change. An air pressure adjustment on the car, just looking to help the overall grip level on the machine. This crew has been one of the best. I see a little strip of cords on the right front tire that's just come off the 17 car. Nice catch on the right rear tire coming around the machine. And so far, the left side tires off the car look pretty good.
Over 15 seconds, not a great stop for those guys.
Not a great stop, but Matt Kenseth felt the tire, the right front, giving up. He knew that all of a sudden that the right front was sliding across the racetrack more than it should.
Well,
he knew it was worn out.
What happens is when you run these cars, you've got a feel for the car, you've got a balance for the car. Once the cores start showing, it feels like you start hitting ice with that right front. The more the tires start showing the cords, the more it feels like you're hitting ice. That's when a driver knows it's time to come in and change it.
53 laps in, these guys are stopping for tire reasons, not fuel reasons.
No, they can last another 10 or 15 laps on fuel, but tires not making it. Marty?
Hey guys, check out the right front on Casey Kane's car as we talked about. Look at that. That tire is obliterated on the inside shoulder right there. That's beyond cords. That's getting ready to blow. And so it's cords all the way around, Wally and Benny. So pretty much that tire is gone on Casey Kane's right front.
Casey, good move hitting pit road, buddy. Because otherwise that 9 car would be wadded up down in a corner someplace in just, what, a lap or two?
Yeah. But like I say, you can feel that. These guys can feel it when they start doing that. Comes to 29, Dave.
After being very, very loose, just missing Travis Quapple, leaving his pit. Kevin's car has gone very, very tight, not happy at all. Plus, they had a radio that stayed keyed open. That made Kevin a little angry. They'll make wedge adjustments on both sides of the cars, air pressure adjustments as well. Try to get this car back in the game. Marty.
Well, Dave, biggest concern for Mark Martin was that his car was loose getting into the corner. They're actually going to add a ½ pound to the left front tire, as well as taking out a ½ pound from the right front tire, or actually adding a half pound to the right front tire as well, trying to tighten up that car getting into the corner. Matt?
And Tony Stewart makes his way down pit road as well. Tony said the car needs to roll through the center of the corner better. It's not bad, but it's been working like that pretty much all weekend. You can see him going to work on the left side of the car now. Air pressure change for the 20. AB?
Carl Edwards going to pit here for 4 tires. They're going to adjust the air pressure on the right side of the car to try and help the handling on this machine. Green flag pit stop here at lap 56. Also expecting to see Jeff Gordon on pit road, who will have to swing around the front of Carl Edwards. So we'll see Carl make his pit stop here, and then you'll see Jeff Gordon swing around the front. You see a track bar adjustment there being made on that 99 car. Here comes Gordon. He'll swing around the front. It'll be a 4-tire change. Air pressure will be adjusted on the tires on the right side of this car as well. And they carefully come in and on the pits. Edwards got away just in time. Look for a 4-tire change here on Gordon.
Jeff Gordon did stay out and lead a lap, so he got 5 bonus points. Jimmy Johnson is currently the race leader. He's got 5 bonus points. You got more business down there, AB.
Yeah, you see Gordon leaving as Denny Hamlin comes into his pit. Going to be a chassis adjustment there. You see the wrench about to be handled by the catch can man. Wedge adjustment there, and 4 tires on the 11 car. They'll get a look at those tires, and we'll go to Matt.
And Jimmy Johnson slides to a stop, Alan, using heavy brake. You can see the team blowing the brake dust out of the left front wheel. Already made a significant chassis adjustment. Jimmy says the car just way too loose. Just can't get a good feel for it in the racetrack. Meanwhile, the 31 of Jeff Burton, his car already, and he made a comment as they've already called for air pressure changes all the way around because the car is just so free and lacks grip. He says, is this Rockingham or Atlanta? Talk about the old Rockingham Raceway, which used to just tear up the tires, had absolutely no grip there as well.
So Burton heads off of pit road. Jimmy Johnson has made his stop. Joe Nemechek is currently scored as the race leader.
He scored as a race leader, but he's not a very happy camper because he's out there on worn tires. He wants some new tires like the rest of these boys.
And he's probably going to come get them pretty quick.
It won't be long.
And that means Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's currently second, could inherit the lead. See if Nemechek comes in this time. Nope, going to stay out. Got Matt Kenseth right behind him. Green flag pit stops here at Atlanta. How about the crew cam?
Front tires change on Tony Stewart's Home Depot Chevrolet. Ira Joe Hussey pulls that front tire off, tightens the right front, now around the left side. 5 lug nuts off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're tight. Let's go, Tony.
Hamlin is 6th. Then it's Kenseth, Burton, Martin, and Bobby Labonte, the top 10. The pace here is fast.
Yes, it is. And there's Junior, who's leading. And he's got about 7 seconds on Jeff Gordon right now. But Jeff Gordon's about a half a second a lap faster.
So that means in about 15 laps, you'll catch Junior and go by.
More or less. More or less.
And we see Matt Kenseth currently, as the cars run around the racetrack, has a 22-point lead over Jimmy Johnson. But Johnson's made quite a comeback from those first 4 races in the chase for the Nextel Cup.
Hamlin in that 11 car is 6th. Kenseth is 7th. Right now, just 17 cars are scored on the lead lap. Data on Hamlin from Allen.
This will be one of those good news things if you're a fan of this 11 car. Bill, most of the cars down my end of pit road showed some cord on that right front tire after that long 50-lap green flag run. Denny Hamlin in the 11 car did not. His tires look the best of anyone's that I saw down here, so that's a sign of a pretty good handling car.
Well, what helps there is that the adjustment, there's not a whole lot of adjustment you can make to fix that problem with the tire cord. Now, the way they've got their geometry on that car, that is good that they're not showing the blistering or the tears on that right front. So in the long run, that's going to be really, really good. But these guys that are having those problems, there's not much you can do during a pit stop to fix that.
And our guys along pit road are reporting that there are more guys with issues than without.
The way to fix that is back at the shop,
right?
Not at the racetrack.
Control arms and things like that. You can't do that during a pit stop.
So right fronts are what we're watching for.
Right front tires.
Matt Kenseth currently on top in the championship standings before they develop the chase for the Nextel Cup. Matt won his first Nextel Cup Series championship back in 2003 and just had a dominating season, just the 1 win. But I'll tell you, week in and week out, they were right there.
What was that graphic we just had up there? 25 top 10,
That's
something
amazing.
unbelievable.
Out of 36 races.
But there again, that was under the old point standings, and they put Matt Kenseth in a position where he really couldn't race to win. He had to race for points, and it worked. He won the championship. Alan?
Well, Betty, talking to Robbie Reiser, Matt Kenseth's crew chiefs this morning about their car for today's race. He said in yesterday's 2 practice sessions, one, they felt like their car was pretty good. But the later of the 2 practices, they really didn't feel like they were very on the mark. In fact, they didn't think they were very good at all. They made a lot of changes to this car this morning. So far in the race, Matt Kenseth has fallen back from the pole. He settled in at 9th spot. Farthest back he was 10th position. Right now trying to get a feel for the car after the changes they made to the air pressure on the last pit stop and see if they've helped it any. Robbie did tell me he felt like they were going to have to chase changing track conditions all day as far as adjusting the handling of their car.
Yeah, Alan, he said they would have all day to
work. Man, he's got his hands full there. He had that thing sideways.
Well, Robbie Reiser said this morning on a scale of 1 to 10, he told me this car was a 2.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kenseth had that car sideways right there. Did a good job hanging on to it, and he didn't even lose a position. Well, there's Casey Kane now. Or that's not Casey Kane, 37 car.
Right, Phil Elliott. And Matt Kenseth knows people are looking at the recent runs of this 17 team.
I think that we haven't really performed maybe well enough and put together good enough races maybe to be the points leader, but yet we've worked hard at it. We've never gave up, and we would take some races that we probably should have finished 30th and finished 14th with it. So I mean, I think that's a credit to our team of never giving up and working hard. So every day is not going to be a good day. Every day is not going to be a day where you're a contender and you're able to win. And on those days, I think a championship team is made of taking them bad days and turning them into as good day as you can, as much as a championship team is made of winning and running up front. So you're not going to have a good day every week, and you got to do the best you can every week with what you have.
Hey, I got to work with Weber. You do too, BP. So we do the best we can. We know exactly what he's talking about.
But that's exactly your point at the very top of the show.
Yeah.
Just what these guys have been able to do this year.
Did I tell you I missed you yesterday? Well, guess what? Dave?
I've been missing you, Bill. Thanks for chiming in here. Hey, right now, Kevin Harvick is trying to chase down Dale Earnhardt Jr., knowing that unless Joe Nemechek is on the same lap with him, which I don't think he is, he's in the lucky dog position right now. When your car is extremely tight and it won't turn in the corners, Wally, the adjustments you make are sometimes way in the wrong direction, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's exactly what happened to Kevin. It's similar to what you saw in Matt's car, I think. Kevin has described the car as wrecking loose, which is hard to drive. Marty?
Well, Dave, now here's the game for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Currently, he is the leader of the race, but he has only about 15 more laps on the track before he has to make a green flag stop. So what they're hoping and praying for right now is a caution. That will keep him on the lead lap. If they have to stay out, pit under green, they'll go back down a lap, and like you mentioned, they will not be the lucky dog because of all those cars in front of them. Of course, they'll be probably 2 laps down by that point by the time they pit. So they're really hoping for a caution in the next 13 laps for Junior. They're planning on pitting on lap 190, or lap 90 rather.
You're right, Marty. They're in trouble right now.
There's only been one caution period for laps 5, 6, and 7. We've completed 77 laps. Earnhardt has led just 301 laps in 2006, 92 of those in the last 3 races. We have just gone under the caution here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. The caution is for debris in turn 2. It is a huge benefit for Dale Earnhardt Jr. out of sequence with the rest of the lead lap cars. Saved him from possibly having to pit under the green flag. We're under caution. Pit road is open. The leaders are coming your way, Marty.
Bill, what a break for these guys. They were 8 laps from a green flag pit stop, as you said. Saving grace for the day for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Mark this moment down top of your screen in the 8 car. He's the leader, said it feels like the right front is bouncing on the track, and he's laying on that right front spring fairly hard. The car's a little bit tight. They take a half pound on left rear tire, Matt.
Tony Stewart showed considerable wear on the right front because his car was tight on the first run. He said the car took off way too free on this run. Slight air pressure change to help that. Amy?
Jeff Gordon, center of the screen, has to stop short in his pit box because Denny Hamlin would be coming around in front of him, so Gordon has a good exit. Little air pressure adjustment on the left side of the car, and Gordon with a close race with his teammate Jimmy Johnson off the pit lane.
Now here's the Nextel race off of pit road. Allen?
Junior, whole serve, he and his guys. Johnson gains a couple.
Nextel celebrating speed, teamwork, and getting things done instantly. Here's our Craftsman pit summary. Gordon lost a spot. Tony Stewart lost a spot.
It was that Jimmy Johnson that moved up into second place by Gordon and Stewart.
But Matt Kenseth is going to lose a bunch of spots, and here's why. Pulls into his stall.
Just over the line. You see the official saying, guys, you got to push it back behind the line, and that little mistake, BP, will cost you 5 or 6 seconds or a bunch of positions in this case.
You say, well, the right rear is outside the line. That's okay if you've got to drive into around another car. It's okay to have that right rear out there. Alan, what about that stop?
They found a little problem on the car on that stop, Benny, on the right front tire that came off the car. On the inside edge, there was something rubbing on that tire that has caused Robbie Reiser concern. He first called Matt Kenseth to come back down pit road. Then they told him, then Matt didn't pit basically because we went on 1 to go. The problem was not on the first set of tires, so that's something they're going to keep an eye on and see if they need to fix on the next pit stop.
And as we get the restart here at Atlanta, Coke invites you to drink it down and start it up. Dale Jarrett was the lucky dog.
You see the 29 car down there on the bottom. Kevin Harvick really likes to get that lap back.
There are only 18 cars scored on the lead lap. Matt Kenseth restarted 15.
Jeff Gordon right on the rear bumper of the 48 car, Jimmy Johnson.
Tell you what, that 4 car is racy today.
Yeah, really looks pretty good.
Harvick would really love to get that lap back.
And this is one place, VP, where as you see Gordon go by the 48, that you got to be careful when you pull up on somebody to get them loose, because it happens so fast, it could get you in trouble. The guy in front of you just jumps out of the gas, or the cars get upset. Really, you're going so fast here, it's very easy to get somebody loose.
And when they jump out of the gas, you run in the back of them.
Right.
Junior has led 39 laps today.
And Junior's car is really, really good at the get-go. As we've seen, that thing just flies for about 10 or 15 laps. But we'll see if they made the right adjustments to have that car be a little bit more consistent where it doesn't fall off so much.
Tony Gibson, who works on this 8 car. I talked to him this morning. He goes, you know, you never want to say we're good or we're running well or whatever. He goes, when my wife calls and asks how the car is and I don't say much, she pretty much knows we're going to be okay.
You don't want to jinx yourself.
That's right. He didn't want to say too much today.
Alan, what's up with the 17? They figured anything out?
Not yet. They just had a big huddle and looked at those tires, Benny. But you were asking about the pit stop before. Let's let Matt explain what was going on there.
Just leave that sign back, Brother Robbie. They just seen enough room for me. I thought I stopped on it, but I guess I didn't. By the time I see that sign, and that end pit box is blacktop and not cement, I guess, the way the tires slid. Or, you know, you can usually stop on the cement ones. I just kept sliding. I'm just going to have to back up and block them in. I mean, that's all we can do.
And that is correct. The last 2 pit stalls on pit road are off the end of the concrete pit boxes and on a paved area. So the grip is different when the driver goes to stop the car. And Benny and Wally, you know, when you're not expecting that, that can make a difference.
Yeah, what he's talking about, they dropped that sign in front, and what you do is you're supposed to take the nose of your car and stop it right at that sign, but sometimes you slide through that sign. So what they're doing is they want to move that sign back to help with that.
You still got to get around the guy that's already in the stall in front of you, too.
Right.
So it makes it even more difficult.
That's right. Denny Hamlin is pitting next to Matt Kenseth, and he's running in front of Matt Kenseth, so he's going to be there first. Now the 17 somehow's got to drive around him, get in his stall, and stop before he goes over the line.
The good news for Kenseth right now, though, is he's 13th and Hamlin is 17th. So if they came to pit road in that fashion, it would help Matt. Earnhardt Jr. won here in March of 2004. He had 6 top 5s in Atlanta and 8 top 10s. He was 3rd here in March.
The 8 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr. still leads. Jeff Gordon looked like he was going to come up and pass him a couple of laps ago, but now that lead is stabilized and Gordon not able to do too much with him.
Looks like Gordon's hunting for a groove or a line to try and rope in Earnhardt.
Could have picked up a little bit of that aero push that we talked about, and he tried a different line, didn't work for him. So he's back to where he was running earlier.
So he wants that line that Earnhardt's using.
He wants that line, but when he gets up a little bit closer than where he is right now, about another 2 car lengths, 3 car lengths, he starts picking up an aero push if you're running the exact same line as Earnhardt. So that's why he went up to the high side to see if he can get away from that, pick up a little ground, but he didn't. His car didn't like it up there.
Jimmy Johnson is about 2 seconds behind Gordon in 3rd. Then it's Stewart, Jeff Burton, Martin Truex Jr., Carl Edwards, Clint Boyer, Bobby Labonte, and Casey Kane, the top 10. Gordon, one of the guys in the chase for the Nextel Cup championship, had an interesting day at Martinsville. Not a great finish, but a good one, and he was a little surprised with some of the stats after the race.
At Martinsville, I was so disappointed that we didn't win because we had a car that was so awesome the first half, and we kind of lost it a little bit in the second half. And yeah, we finished 5th, and I was like, okay, well, you know, it's a decent finish. And then they started showing me the points. It's like, wow, really? And I tried not to get too excited because we are still 9th in points, but knowing that we're that close is you know, giving us a little bit of new life.
Tony Stewart for 3rd around Jimmy Johnson.
That's what I started saying. Jimmy Johnson lost another spot.
And as Alan talked about, that 24 bunch still says, as of this morning, they're running for 2007. And using some experimental parts, it's the radiator this week and 4 or 5 other parts, trying to help out everybody else to see how it works out. So it's 2007 is what they're thinking.
Okay, well, that's to get guys like you off their back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I do. I think that's it. Say, okay, everybody, hey, listen, just forget. Don't even look at us anymore. We're racing for next year. They're not.
So somebody in the garage told me a story that wasn't true.
Yeah, it's just called the lie, Bill.
Oh, I'm crushed. And I like those guys so much down there.
Your wife's been lying to you for so many years.
Yeah, especially in the last 6. Earnhardt Jr. leads Gordon in Atlanta. This is for the lead at Atlanta. 109 laps complete. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has it. Jeff Gordon trying to take it away.
Oh, careful, boys. Careful. Man, that was close.
Clear, and thank you, Mr. Earnhardt, for not wrecking me. Although I'll get you loose anyway, because I didn't like you sliding up in front of me like that.
Junior said in the pre-race show that he was going to have to be more aggressive, right?
Well, let me tell you, when a guy does a slide job like that, the horns come out of the helmet. They come.
Do you speak from experience there?
I always have horns, but Junior's a nice guy, and when he had that happen to him just then, he's like, well, not sure I like that too much.
110 laps complete, working lap 111. Earnhardt has led 62 laps. We'll watch the leaders and take you through the field, starting with Dale Earnhardt Jr., and here's Mr. Snyder.
And Mr. Weber, he's back up front, and he told me aggressive but smart. No more mental errors. The one thing that he's done, he's changed his line. Remember earlier, he was running the bottom in 1 and 2, the top in 3 and 4. Now he's doing the opposite. Bottom in 3 and 4 and the top in 1 and 2. It seems to have helped, but Junior has picked up a tight condition here midway through the run. Alan?
It's interesting watching Jeff Gordon move around to different lines on the racetrack, because Steve Letarte, the crew chief, told me this morning that these Nextel Cup cars have gotten so finely tuned now that the driver just about has to pick the line he wants to run and let the crew chief adjust from there. Steve said not to look for Jeff to run the very bottom in 1 and 2. It's too bumpy for the setup they have in the car, Matt.
And Tony Stewart runs in the 3rd position. The car, he says, is now too free on entry and too free on exit. Started day in the 11th position, currently runs 3rd. He's led 32 laps today. Meanwhile, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Now, it's interesting. Back at driver intros, Jimmy and Jeff Burton were going back and forth about one guy losing the championship lead, the other guy picking it up, and back and forth just about the luck and how to keep your team mentally prepared for the long chase.
We've wanted it so bad and we've tried so hard. It's more of a deal now where I've got to almost pull the reins back on the guys and say, look, we know we can do this. Let's not want it so bad that we cause problems and create issues. Let's just be smart and just do what we know how to do.
Gordon once again trying to work under Earnhardt for the lead.
Jeff just can't let that car drift. Maybe he can this time. Yes, he can.
Drifts up in front of Earnhardt.
He wanted to make sure he gave him enough room this time. He didn't want to come back and get him loose down in 3 and 4.
Earnhardt looking to close up.
He got a little bit of arrow push there. You can see he went down underneath it. He got there, and all of a sudden he lost the nose. The car slid up. He had to back off a little bit.
That was a perfect example of arrow push.
Yeah.
So Gordon leads 115 laps complete. We continue going through the field. Matt.
And Bill, while Jimmy Johnson, his car had a life of its own on entry, Jeff Burton says his car has just gotten tighter and tighter on this run, but the comfort level is better. Meanwhile, Martin Truex Jr. in the 1 car says his car, for whatever reason, has really gotten tight in the center and loose on exit. He told his team we really need to work more on fixing the center versus the exit. AB?
Carl Edwards has won 2 of the 4 times he's raced the Nextel Cup car here, having a solid day right now, up to 7th. He started back in 12th place. Just talked to his crew chief Wally Brown about the handling of the car, and overall not too bad for this stage of the race for the 99. Matt?
The 07 Clint Boyer was 2nd yesterday in the NASCAR Busch Series race. Now his crew chief Gil Martin's been telling Clint, just save your right front tire. Now we're seeing tire wear like we did in the spring. The first run showing some excessive significant wear going down to the cores, but as the day wears on, more rubber gets into this green racetrack and the wear gets better, and that's exactly what we're seeing now. Gil telling him that we'll work on that tight race car on the next stop. Marty?
Well, Matt, Casey Kane told me on Friday, he said, one of the things that has made me most proud, especially here in the second half of the season, we're making our cars better throughout a race. Earlier on, Casey Kane and his team struggled a little bit with a race car that was a little too loose. They've been getting it better the longer they run, although this is the beginning part of the run where they get worried about those right front tires. This is where the cord started showing earlier on. Alan?
Nice little rally going on for Matt Kenseth. He was shuffled back to 15th after the pit stop. We showed you when he overshot the box a few minutes ago. The team thinks that they've figured out what's causing the rub on the inside of the right front tire. They have a hose to blow air on the right front tires inside to help its lifespan on the racetrack. They're going to try and push that back a little bit on the next pit stop. Marty?
Alan, both sets of tires that came off Mark Martin's car were no problems, no cords at all. They look beautiful. And Mark is saying the car's a little bit too loose, but the longer they go, the better this race car get. Mark wants to put himself in position. As he told BP earlier, they have to win today if they feel like they have a chance to win this championship. Dave?
Well, Kevin Harvick restarted 19th on the grid here, and what do you guys show now? 21st for Kevin?
That's correct.
Yep, 21st right now. Has gone backwards just a little bit, trying to find his way back into competition here. His car was loose into turn 1. That was the main complaint. Made a track bar adjustment and 4 tires, but so far it hasn't helped him. Alan?
And Denny Hamlin has fallen back quite a bit in this field as well. Just like Matt Kenseth, he slid through his pit box. His box also on pavement instead of concrete. Lost about 5 spots on the last stop. Not long after the restart, said his car just won't handle when it's in traffic, and that's causing him some issues on the racetrack. Dave?
Kyle Busch's car now reporting no grip. The thing that they had to work on after the front end damage was fixed is that the car was really in the racetrack. No, I mean really in the racetrack, bottoming out hard. And so they went under the hood, made some adjustments to the shocks there, raised the car up, get it off the track for Kyle. Seems to have helped a little bit, but he's off the pace today.
Thanks, Dave. Kyle Busch, 28th. One of many cars 1 lap down. There are 17 cars scored on the lead lap. The last one being Denny Hamlin.
You know, listen to what Marty was talking about, the 6 car. The 6 car's times right now are as good as anybody's, if not better than a lot of cars. The problem is Mark can't give up 15 seconds before his car starts working. That's right now. He's 15 or 16 seconds behind Jeff Gordon. They've got to get that car, BP, working better on the get-go, or they're not going to have a shot at this.
Maybe the last half of the race, as the sun starts going down and it starts getting colder, maybe that will help. His car.
You can't bump draft here at Atlanta, right?
No.
Because Gordon's leading and Earnhardt second. And their friendship really bonded after Talladega. Jeff Gordon is the race leader. Tony Stewart in that Home Depot ride is second. Then it's Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Burton, and Jimmy Johnson. Do want to throw in that Bobby Labonte has made several stops on and off of pit road. Matt Yoakum reporting an overheating problem on the 43 car. He's currently scored 41st. 4 laps down. Gordon leads. BP, please.
You know, since we're so close to Columbus, Georgia, the headquarters for Aflac, it's my privilege and pleasure to cue the duck.
Means it's time for the Aflac trivia question.
Aflac!
Who was the only driver to finish last among chasers in a chase race and still win the championship? Well, you only have 2 guys to pick from.
Did Kurt Busch finish last year at Atlanta when he blew up in 2004?
I believe he did.
Let's see if that's right. Hey! First one I've ever gotten right.
Finished early that day, didn't he?
Just very early.
Went on to win the championship.
And came in here with what, over 100-point lead on the field. Looks like it's going to be a runaway for Kurt Busch, and we had that engine problem that brought everyone back into play.
You remember that and the wheel at Homestead coming off. Okay, let's see. Jeff Gordon leads, a 4-time winner here. Carl Edwards won both races here a year ago. You got a story on 99, Alan?
Just monitoring some of the radio traffic between Carl and the car and crew chief Wally Brown in the pit box. And, you know, driver needs some feedback to know how he's doing, maybe even beyond what he feels and sees on the racetrack.
31.87, the leader in at 91. Last lap was awesome, actually. Oh, you're just saying that. Oh, it was the fastest one there, buddy. Gained slightly on the leader, Carl. I can see a few car lengths there. No bull.
Spotter Bobby Hudson chiming in. You know, the driver's always expecting his crew chief to just keep him pumped up. He said, oh, come on, you're not pulling my leg, are you? Carl is fast. He's catching and passing some of these cars that have been in front of him.
Currently shown in the 7th position, Allen. Trying to work his way forward. The next car in front of him, the 1 of Mark Truex Jr. And like Martin's about a half a corner in front of the 99.
See, he ran that good lap. Now they expect him to do that every single lap. He's like, how did I do that? I forgot.
Wow, what's up with Matt Kenseth on pit road?
He's got a long way to head down pit road all the way to Alan Bestwick.
Yeah, it was. You hear Robbie Reiser talk to his driver. They just had a conversation. Matt asked how long till we pit. He was told about 5 more laps. But Robbie said, come in if you can't wait and we have a problem. Matt said, I'm coming in right now. So here he is, the championship leader on pit road. Remember, they had some cord showing on the right front after that first long green flag run. And then they thought that bead blower, see the front tire changer, Justin Nottestad reached back and knocked that hose that's blowing air on the right front tire out of the way. So the 4-tire change here for Matt. Robbie Reiser already coming down off the pit box, wanting to look at the tires that have come off the car, and now they're going to hope this thing stays green until everybody else has to pit.
You see what happens? 17.5-second pit stop instead of a normal 13.5. 4 seconds it costs just to knock a hose back out of the way.
And 4 seconds on a racetrack where they're running 190 miles per hour is a lot.
And there is the race leader, Jeff Gordon, going around Matt Kenseth. Gordon in that 24 car, Kenseth in the 17. Kyle Busch on pit road, Dave.
He's got the forgotten chaser now, Bill. They need a big wedge adjustment in that car. It is very, very loose. Bad loose, according to Kyle. They will put 4 tires on it and get him back on the track.
So they work on the 5 car. Kyle involved in an early spin. Brought out the first caution of the race on lap 5.
You see 26, Jamie McMurray has also been on pit road. Now then we see the 17 car. That's pretty big. He's able to get by the 24, get one of the laps. He's probably 2 laps down. Now he's only 1 down to the leader.
And he'll be slicing through these cars right now. That's what new tires does for you.
Man, look
make
at that.
a lot of ground up.
And that's Denny Hamlin that Jeff Gordon is threatening to knock off the lead lap right there in that 11 car. AB?
Just a follow-up, Matt Kenseth called in and asked Robbie Reiser to tell him what that inside sidewall on the right front tire looked like so he would know how hard to run the car. Robbie looked at the tire, called out to Matt and said, it looks good, it's fine, and it does.
And at least Matt Kenseth can believe Robbie Reiser that what he's telling him is in fact the truth, because he, in that kind of a situation, I don't think any crew chief is going to lie to a driver.
Correct.
Harvick now hits pit road in that 29 car. Hamlin did get knocked off the lead lap by the 24 of Gordon. Dave?
Very, very tight race car right now for Kevin Harvick. Also, Robbie Gordon was in, been hoping to be the lucky dog, but that goes away as he pits as well. 4 tires for Harvick. They will make an air pressure adjustment for him to try to loosen that car up. Matt?
12 of Ryan Newman running back in the 29th position. Just can't seem to find the balance on this race car today. They've had issues on these 1.5-mile tracks. Change is already complete as far as air pressure goes in the 12. Trying to tweak it, get it somewhere in that sweet spot so he can do something with it.
These green flag stops coming with 139 laps complete. And this is a car right here that yesterday you didn't think was going to be anywhere near the front, let alone at the front.
I was just sitting here thinking the same thing, Bill. What a huge turnaround from yesterday morning to now. The 24 car, they're all scratching their head and saying that he could. Jeff Gordon told me, I can't drive the car. I don't have any idea what it's going to do. Go in the corner, and it may go right, it may go left. So hats off to Steve Letarte and that crew. They have worked very, very hard to get this car where it can lead this race here at Atlanta.
And it wasn't just what they were telling us, or you could see it by looking at the computer numbers.
Oh, he was last. He was one of the slowest cars here, Matt.
And the 07 Clint Boyer is in now. They're just trying to work and save that right front tire by looking to tire wear that a lot of teams have had, especially even the 07. They are in that safe zone, just trying to get this car to free up a little bit. And the center of the corner had a great run yesterday in Memphis, trying to have a good weekend all around with a solid top 5 finish here at Atlanta. Meanwhile, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson led the point standing so many times this year. Felt like this could be the year, but they're now back in it after that win at Martinsville. Jimmy says the car had a life of its own on entry, just way too free, trying to tighten it up. You see him go to work. They're going to make a chassis adjustment across the back of the race car of the 48 of Johnson. Good solid stop going so far for the Lowe's guys. Good day so far. Meanwhile, the 55 of Michael Waltrip also on pit road. Dave?
The 88 of Dale Jarrett. You know, don't you hate it when the lucky dog doesn't make any progress? Well, he went from 18th to 9th before all of these pit stops were starting. A very, very good run for DJ. Right now he's going to take on 4 tires, and the crew according to DJ, it's 4 tires, and that's it. No changes right now to the 88. Marty.
Dave Casey King hung around the 10th position for most of this run. He said at the end of the run, the right front tire felt fine. We will check on that. He said he could use more grip, though. 1.5 rounds down on left rear wedge. He said, I can't drive as hard as these guys around me. It's just not worth it. It's too early in the race.
That's with 143 laps complete of 325. Still a long way to go just to get to halfway. Jeff Gordon has led 31 laps so far today. That car, Dale Earnhardt Jr., has led the most, 66, but he's on pit road now, Marty.
Running for third when he comes to pit road, Bill, and he said, you know, at the end of that run, I just really got way too tight and couldn't keep up with the 20 car who passed him, as well as Jeff Gordon who passed him. It'll be an air pressure adjustment, trying to get this car better later in the run, but clearly on brand new tires, Junior's about the fastest thing out there, Matt.
Jeff Burton's been fourth 3 times here at Atlanta, working on a win now. They're trying to make some more adjustments to the car. He says, I'm struggling with the rear and the front grip. I've had to slow down a little bit, but sometimes when you slow down, you actually go faster. And the 20 of Tony Stewart is in as well. They're going to make a track bar adjustment and wedge adjustment. He says when he tries to move up, the car just gets tighter and tighter. They need to be better on the front end of the run. Their car's pretty rock solid, AB.
And the race leader, Jeff Gordon, is in. They're going to make air pressure adjustments in the left front and right front tires. 4 tire change here. A little coordination between the cars pitting in front of and behind Jeff Gordon. Denny Hamlin in last lap. Carl Edwards coming now. Marty?
Well, Alan, Mark Martin at the end of that run was one of the fastest race cars. That's a good stop for the 6 team under green flag conditions. Exactly what they need. Half round of wedge in the left rear. Trying to tighten up just a little bit at the end of that run. Mark said it was just touch too free for him. Alan?
And on pit road is Carl Edwards, who has continued to hold steady in the top of the standings. He's getting a warning from his spotter, Bobby Hudson, about Greg Biffle, who just pulled away from his pit stall just around where Carl has to come on to his pit lane. Be a 4 tire change here, and they're going to make air pressure adjustments. And I thought they were going to make a track bar adjustment, but yeah, there it is. Okay, there's the wrench going in and out. And of course, top it off with fuel. And the most important thing on these pit stops for these teams right now, looking at the condition of the tires after they come off the car. What do they have to work with for this next long green run?
And that's what we'll want to know. Exactly right.
Yes. But the teams can look at how the wear is on the tires, if the right front wears more than the right rear, and that way they can figure out what they're going to do for their next adjustment.
Right, because they stopped last time under the caution at lap 83, now working lap 147. There's Gordon back out on the track, up to speed. Now take a look at what Dale Earnhardt Jr. came to pit road.
A little fast. Yeah, you know, you're trying to hustle the car. You're trying to get as much speed as you can to get to pit lane, but then you've got to be careful. You've got to slow these things down. And when you get off the racetrack on that apron, it's slippery down there. And that's where you guys see these tires locking up when you're trying to slow the car down.
It's not just how good you are on the racetrack, it's how well you can execute as a driver getting on and off of pit road. Those mistakes could cost you the next Hell Cup.
Shall we raise our shields, Captain?
At ease, Mr. Chekhov. Again with the shields. I wish he'd just relax and enjoy the amazing picture clarity of the DirecTV HD we just hooked up. With what Starfleet just ponied up for this big screen TV, settling for cable would be illogical. What? I can't use that line?
For picture quality that beats cable, you've got to get DirecTV.
Hey guys, Bobby and Kenny are starting the game.
Hey Bobby, just pop the DVD in and let's play.
Which family came in first and second in the Daytona 500?
Me and Rusty.
No, it was Davey and Bobby Allison.
That was a really neat deal.
Man, I love this game.
It's here, the officially licensed NASCAR DVD board game with hours of race footage and trivia challenges to test your NASCAR knowledge.
Man, I need to practice more.
The leader is car 24, Alan.
I had a good look at the tires that came off this car on the pit stop, Bill. No marks, no corns, no blisters on this 24 car. Steve Letarte jumped down from the pit box, had a look at them, kind of gave the nod, yes, thumbs up, everything's looking good. And then he also had a conversation on the radio with Jeff that said, you know, if we ever hit the handle on this thing right, we'll really be good.
Yeah, that's probably he's
not leading, you know.
He's not looking too good because right behind the 24 is that 20 of Tony Stewart, and he is coming fast. See, Tony Stewart is going to run right on the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to try to.
Yeah.
We saw him earlier in the race.
Oh! Did Gordon hit the wall?
Yep.
Stewart goes by.
You okay there? Oh, what's not going to be when I get to him?
Ooh.
Looking to see the damage. Looks like the Goodyear's rubbed off that right front tire. So Stewart takes.
I got the fender, maybe the toe a little bit because I'm tight. The right front fender's knocked in, Stevie.
Stewart now the leader, Gordon second, then Earnhardt Jr., Johnson, and Burton. Watch it again.
He was trying to get up on the outside of Nemechek, and whether Nemechek didn't see him or there wasn't enough room doesn't really matter. Gordon got, oh, it looks like Nemechek got a little bit loose and saved it and got up there, and Gordon was trying to get on the outside. Regardless, this place is very, very aerodynamic dependent on what your car does. So if he did knock the fender in just a little bit, it's going to change the handling of that car.
See, they flare those fenders out like the right front. They flare it out, which when the air hits it, it gives it downforce and forces down in the racetrack. You lose that fender flare, and man, you got your hands full.
And Gordon had just passed Bill Elliott in laps led at Atlanta in the 6th all-time. Elliott had led 1,016 laps. Gordon started the day at 976. Jeff has led 44 laps today. Story from pit road. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Bill, the 55 team, and Michael Waltrip racing with heavy hearts today. On Friday, Jackman Steve Spar passed away due to complications from recent heart surgery. He's here in spirit, though. His teammates made a special memorial here in the pit. His helmet, his gloves, his shoes, and his jack. Special at the top, 7 roses, one from each over-the-wall member of this 55 team. And like we said so many times, the NASCAR family is so big, and when we lose one, it definitely touches everybody. Our thoughts and prayers are with Steve's family.
And we echo that. Michael Waltrip on the track runs in 33rd with a heavy heart today. Tony Stewart is the race leader under green. He leads by about 4.5 seconds over Jeff Gordon. Here's our Napa Field summary. 7 different leaders. Bill Elliott, Kevin LePage, the 2 cars out of the race. Just 2 caution periods today. We're 169 laps into 325 here in Atlanta.
Getting dark back there, BP.
Yeah, it sure is. You see the average speed over 160 miles per hour?
Yeah. Only 14 cars on the lead lap.
What?
Jeff Gordon is off the pace. That's coming out of turn 2. A lot of smoke.
I can't believe he ran into the back of you.
Sounds like
That's stupid.
Sound like someone ran in the back of the 24 and caused him to
right front down, maybe a left front, but then lots of rear end damage. You ran smack in the back of it.
I think something happened in front of him. Gordon probably slowed down. That's what he's talking about. I don't think he brought out the caution.
World-renowned Jamie McMurray.
Well, we know who hit him.
Well, he heads for pit road.
Say we need to do is get tires on it. Get 4 tires on it. Fix the front fender. Jabba, you stay back.
And there's McMurray's car just in front of Gordon heading down pit road. McMurray into his stall. Gordon heads for his. Pit road is closed.
I don't know. Maybe that was a caution, guys. I don't see anybody else out there with damage.
Alan?
All right, let's see what they do here on that right front fender. First of all, that got dinged up a little bit when he got squeezed into the wall by Joe Nemechek a little while ago. There's a tug on the right front. You get to look at the damage on the back end of the car as well. They're going to come around, put 4 tires on. You hear Steve Letarte, the crew chief, telling the guys to come around the car. And look at the plan here of who does what on the pit stop to repair the damage while the other guys execute the tire change. The tire carrier stayed over on the far side of the car to work on the fender, and they rolled the left side tire out from the wall instead of the tire carrier coming around. Marty?
Alan Dillon Jr. said this car will plow, meaning it will not turn in the middle of the corners. The adjustment, a little bit different. They're going to put a piece of tape on the front nose. You saw them do it right there. The water temperature only 198, so they can afford that, Matt.
At the top of your screen, Tony Stewart said the car took off much better on that run. Great stop by the Hope Depot guys. They will beat the 8 off pit road. No changes for Stewart. AB?
Matt Kenseth that worked his way back up to 5th position. When they go around to the left rear of the car, look for them to pull a spring rubber out, which will take them an extra split second on this stop. But this car's handling continues to rally. I think shorter runs are going to be the key for them because they continue to have those tire blistering problems on that 17 car.
There you see the guys heading off of pit road. We're going to go through our replays and see what we can find here.
It's in progress. You know, Gordon was up on the top of the racetrack. It's hard to tell. So, you know, I don't think the sun had anything to do with the BP. They're already in the shade there for quite a while. But the sun is over turn 2 right now. Davo?
Yeah, Wally, actually, I just talked with Bob Osborne, crew chief for Jamie McMurray, and we had a quick conversation while he headed back to the garage, and he said the sun was in Jamie's eyes. That's what began things, but that's as far as we got, and obviously we don't have anything definitive yet on replay.
Okay.
All right. We'll take a look, see what else we can find. They work on Gordon's car on pit road. Under caution here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Bass Pro Shops 500 live on NBC. Jeff Gordon's been on and off of pit road numerous times, Alan.
This should be stop number 4, Bill. They continue to work on trying to fix the fenders on the car. This track aerodynamics are so important. They got the left front done to their satisfaction, the right front as well. They continue to work around the right rear, and that's all they're going to get done because the field, I believe, is getting the 1-to-go signal here, so they're going to have to run like that, however it is for this next stretch of the race. And I'm going to go have a talk with Steve Letarte after he assesses the damage and get his report.
Gordon pitted 5 times, does stay on the lead lap, does have to start at the end of the longest line for pitting too early. He's also too fast exiting into the longest line, which is a long way back. There are only 14 cars on the lead lap. Stewart's the race leader. Here we go. Casey Mears was the lucky dog.
I tell you what, Wally, Kevin Harvick hiring Ron Hornaday to drive his Craftsman truck was one of the best things he's ever done, because Hornaday has taught Kevin Harvick restarts. He is really, really good on these restarts anymore. Oh, battle for the lead. Here comes the 8 car.
As we've seen all day long, the 8 car is really fast for 10 or 15 laps. Then it seems like his car falls off a little bit, and that's where Stewart and Gordon and those guys were able to run him down and catch him.
And it's going to start getting interesting now because, as you talked about a few minutes ago, BP, the sun is getting lower in the sky, a lot more shade on the racetrack.
And you start with that shade, you're going to start getting more grip. And all these guys that are talking about being too tight now, it's just going to get worse and worse.
We'll watch the action on the track and check with Marty Snyder.
Well, I found Jamie McMurray, and speaking of shade and light, let's find out if we can shed some light on what happened. What went on back there when you hit the 24?
I'm not real sure that, you know, the sun is in your eyes so bad getting into turn 1 that by the time I could see the corner, I was already committed to going where I was, and I heard my spotter say, you know, someone's slow, but on old tires here, it's somewhat like Darlington, you're just sliding, and by the time I could see him, you know, I was like 3 foot from him, and, you know, I ran into the back of him. I'm not sure if he had a tire go down or what happened. He was going really slow at the top of the racetrack, and just nowhere for the Crown Royal Ford Fusion to go.
You guys, this has been such a rough season, Jamie. You're going to be able to get back out?
Probably. I mean, it's been so bad you almost laugh right now. It just seems like if something can go wrong, it does. And I did get mad, but it didn't really do any good. So now you just laugh it off, and hopefully next weekend it'll get better.
He said that he will find Jeff Gordon and apologize, but he said by the time he got into the shaded area, he was already on top of him. There was nothing he could do.
Yeah, I think what happened, Marty, is I think Gordon had trouble up there. He probably lost a car. He slid up to the top of the racetrack, slowed down as we're looking at the glare going into the corner there. But this happened way down into the corner. But regardless, I think Gordon had problems. He slid up. He was up against the wall, and that's when McMurray came in and had no place to go.
Got your shades, BP?
Pardon me?
Got your sunglasses?
I'm telling you, you need your sunglasses. Now, watch this. You go down the front straightaway by the start-finish line. And, folks, this is what you're driving into, the sun. And it's glaring back in the windshield, and this is what you see. Nothing.
Now, some of these guys have tape on the windshield. Some of them will have dark visors. Some of them will even be wearing sunglasses at this point of the race, that, you know, because they know it's coming. So some of them have a little bit better than we do right now.
Alan?
Let's answer definitively what happened to Jeff Gordon after they finished making their 5 pit stops. He took the time on the team radio to explain to Steve Letarte and the crew.
I tell you what happened. That sun's so bad because the time of day they got this race going, he couldn't even see me going in there.
He being the 26 that hit you in the back. What'd you do, have a flat tire before that, buddy?
I don't know if it's left front or right front, what it was, but it went flat, and I did a great job keeping it out of the wall. I was all excited, and then wham, from behind.
And let's get the update from Steve Letarte. Steve, how about the damage on your car? What kind of shape you in?
I think we got the damage fixed up pretty well. You know, the guys here in the DuPont Nickers Chevrolet have done a great job all year long, and I'd like to take a minute and thank everyone back at Hendrick Motorsports. You know, 550 employees make this possible, and we really had a lot of fun racing.
So you think you're okay? Yes. Has he given you any feedback yet?
No, he hasn't said anything. That's usually a good sign.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Wally, you were dead on.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you had a flat tire. You were dead on.
I figured he had to have some kind of problem for the 26 car, who wasn't really running that great. In order for him to catch and run into and wreck the 24, Jeff had to be having some problems.
And all that damage on the front of it, you knew he was moving at a rapid rate of speed, and the 24 wasn't. And you have to consider that Gordon's lucky he didn't have more damage, didn't end up at the wall.
Yeah, because that could have been really, really bad.
Jeff Gordon currently lucky 13th. They're all chasing Dale Earnhardt Jr. He leads Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, and Jeff Burton. NASCAR Next Cup Racing from Atlanta, presented by the Home Depot. To set here in Atlanta, and a lot of them going for red jackets. Color of car 8, Dale Earnhardt Jr. out front. Then it's Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Burton. Saw Todd Bodine down there on the apron, didn't we?
Yes, he did, just leaving the pits.
Yep, he's 51 laps down and back in the garage working on that 4 car. Marty, what are you working on?
I'm working on the 8 car and just checking in on their progress. And I was going to ask Wally this question, but I probably should ask Benny. Benny, ever had a car that just ran so well, you just loved it so much, couldn't wait to bring it back to the racetrack?
Oh, yes.
Well, that's the case for Junior. This is the 13th race for this car this year, and they're going to take it to Texas next week and to Homestead in a couple of weeks, and it has 6 straight top 10 finishes. That's why they keep bringing it back to the racetrack. Bill, that's a battle for 5th on the racetrack.
And that's another red car that people are watching.
And it's the time of the race for Casey Kane to get going.
The time, did he set his clock back? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, no, I'm just telling you, this is the time of the race that Casey Kane, if he's going to be a threat today, it's time to start.
One here in the spring, but that car back. He's got the 5th position. Earnhardt leads, Stewart runs 2nd. An update on 20 from Matt.
Bill, when Tony Stewart lost that lead, he came on the radio and says, wow, I can't run that fast. And BP, like you thought, he would have slowly started working his way back up to the lead. He's about 1.5 seconds behind Dale Earnhardt Jr., and that's about as close as he's gotten. He really hasn't said much on the radio, but when you're talking about the sun and the issue the drivers are having, Stewart, taking a page out of his open wheel days, has a tinted tear-off on his helmet, but no tape across the windshield. The guy behind him, the 48 Jimmy Johnson, has 3 pieces of duct tape across the inside of the windshield with pull tabs. So as the sun sets, he can slowly pull 1 piece of tape off at a time. That way the sun is not that big of an issue for driver number 48.
Thanks, Matt. Tell you, they got their hands full driving into turn 1, don't they?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. It always has been unbelievable, this racetrack.
Right. Now, this is a few laps ago. Mark Martin in the 6.
Oh, he needs all the racetrack. He needs it. Wow. Now, that was a save.
Yeah, what was happening, he was sliding off the racetrack. He slid up in front of the 66, which he was clear, but as he slid in front of the 66, it loosened him up. It took the air off the spoiler.
Caution has just come out. Debris in turn 1. Earnhardt Jr. is the race leader. Then it's Stewart, Johnson, Kenseth, and Kane. Jeff Burton, Truex Jr., Clint Boyer, Carl Edwards, Mark Martin, the top 10. There you see the debris on the track in turn 1. There are 14 cars on the lead lap, and Joe Nemechek will be the lucky dog. He will come around and be the 15th car on the lead lap. 197 laps are complete, 128 to go. Earnhardt Jr. has led 86 laps today. That's the most. Stewart has led 51, Gordon 44. Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, Joe Nemechek, and Carl Edwards have also led briefly today here in Atlanta.
Well, Wally, if they just keep running now in 20 lap segments and having a caution flag,
they won't catch him.
Oh, he's going to be okay in that 8 car.
But, you know, they've been adjusting on it, too. I mean, you know, they've made the car better.
Pit road will be open when they get there. They're in turn 4 right now. Earnhardt makes the left, and here they come. Marty.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. says, Bill, on that run, his car was a little too free in the center of the corner, and he wants the car to work better in the middle of the corner. A little too free getting into the corner, I should say. He said he wants about 75% of what he gave him last time. So it's going to be a wedge and a track bar adjustment. They're going to go down 1 round on the track bar and 1 round of wedge in the left side. Matt?
In the middle of your screen is Tony Stewart. He was running second. Stewart said the car still had the uneasy feeling as Jeff Gooch Patterson acknowledges the fuel tank is full. Didn't really know what to do to fix it, AB.
Not going to be any changes on Matt Kenseth's car this time because he feels like the car will be good as the sun goes down. A 4-tire change and a windshield tear off and a very close race off the pit lane.
Looks like Tony Stewart.
Yes, beats
take the
Junior
spot.
Beats him off pit road.
Here's the race off of pit road. We'll take a look at it.
All right, let's see. Here we go, Junior. Trying. Can't quite get to that 20 car, but is that a dead heat or did Kenseth beat him?
It's going to be tough on that 3rd spot.
We'll let NASCAR sort it out. Here's Ira Joe.
Ira Joe Hussey, and you think you'd be from the southeast, right? Ira Joe from New Hampshire. He goes around to the left side. Takes that left front off. Tom Dean, tire carrier, slaps it on. 5 lug nuts. Go, Tony, go.
See you later.
Last year, the bigger the project, the better I did. This season, my house is done.
We could tear it down, then rebuild it.
Hey, we could do my house.
You got any pictures? Harvest Gold.
Dude. Boys, I smell another championship.
Round 7 of the chase for the Nextel Cup. Tony Stewart is the race leader. Then it's chasers Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane, and Jeff Burton as we go back to green.
And look at this. Matt Kenseth is 3rd.
He's looking at 2nd right now.
Going for 2nd.
See if he's going to be able to pull this. I don't know, though. Earnhardt's car's been so good on these restarts. Kind of was sleeping a little bit there on that one. He let Tony Stewart get away from him when they dropped the green. Now he's got Kurt Busch in the 2 car in between them. And I believe Kurt's 2 laps down.
That's correct. What'd you get for the fuel window, big guy?
65 to 70 laps on gasoline, but obviously the tires are not going to last that long, so.
I got a question for you, but first let's check with Mr. Bestwick.
Matt Kenseth gained a spot on that set of pit stops, Bill. He's up to 3rd place now. He just told his crew chief, Robbie Reiser, that as the sun goes down and the track conditions cool, if the track overall picks up speed, in other words, if everybody's running faster lap times as the sun goes down, he thinks they're going to be okay and maybe have a shot to win this thing. We'll have to watch the lap times as the sun sets and the track temperature cools.
Thanks, Alan. So nobody's thinking about one more stop then, huh?
No.
No, because of tires.
Because of tires.
Okay. You're not thinking with the cooler temperatures and more rubber in the track and...
Well, you know, it's possible that someone that hasn't had any tire issues all day long, that the right front and the right, all the tires have looked good, they might try it. They can make it on one more stop.
See how that plays out.
On fuel.
Yeah. Tony Stewart won the race off of pit road. For all the people at Joe Gibbs Racing and all the guys that work so hard at the shop and at the track, here are the guys that go over the wall for Tony Stewart.
Craig Zipadelli, Berlin, Connecticut.
Tom Dean, Long Valley, New Jersey.
Ira Joe Hussey, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Jason Lee, Willimantic, Connecticut.
Jody Fortson, China Grove, North Carolina.
Todd Foster, Birmingham, Alabama.
Jeff Patterson, Escondido, California.
Brian Larson, Escanaba, Michigan.
And let me add, that's for all the guys and the women at Joe Gibbs Racing.
It's amazing the different localities these crew members come from. Every time that we introduce these crew members, it never ceases to amaze me.
This is for 5th.
Casey Keene has it in the 9 car. Martin Truex Jr., the 1, would love to take it away, but
see Denny Hamlin there in the 11 car right behind Truex, but he is 1 lap down.
Believe it or not, Kevin Harvick is 23rd, 2 laps down. Dave, your buddy's not doing too well out there today.
Well, let's check in with Todd Barrier, his crew chief. Looks like a championship on the edge here, Todd, but it sounds like the car won't decide if it's tight or loose today.
It's been loose for the most part. We were tight a couple of runs. Just hadn't really found the balance that he wanted. We just keep trying to make it one or the other. It's still free right now, so we're just going to keep winding wedge in and keep working on it. Hopefully, just make a day out of it. That's all we do.
That run was a little better. What did you guys do? Kevin asked you over the radio. What'd you do?
Well, we keep knocking the fenders in on the front and just stupid stuff we shouldn't have to be doing.
Yeah, they're frustrated down here, but trying to get Kevin at least in a position to where he can get back on the lead lap, and that's been the tough part. He's 2 laps down, so he's not in position for the lucky dog.
And Dave, no matter whether it has affected them today or not, the story tomorrow is going to be that he was not here for the 2nd practice session.
Yeah, as much as Kevin didn't want to talk about it, and you know, it really probably isn't the problem, but it'll sound like the problem.
Exactly right.
You know, if Kevin had spent every waking minute here, if they had spent every lap on the track they could have, then they wouldn't be talking about it this way.
check this out. Jimmy Johnson, he's got his race face on now. He goes by Junior for that 2nd spot.
And this is the part of the run where you thought the 8 would be stronger.
I'm sorry, 3rd spot. Yes, I thought the Junior would be strong, but yet he's falling back to the 4th position.
And Kurt Busch is going to go underneath him, Marty.
Yeah, Junior not very happy with the car early in the run here, and as you guys say, that has been their strength all afternoon long. Junior came on the radio during that pass when Jimmy Johnson was going around him. He said, I have no right rear grip right now, really loose, and they haven't been loose for much today, so maybe they're hoping, or they are hoping, the car will get tighter the longer he runs. Junior trying to hang on to it, though, here early in the run.
And just to underscore your point, that 2 car is a couple of laps down.
Right. Which means if you're a couple laps down, you're slower than most people.
Right.
And then he's trying to get by the 8 car right now.
So Dale Earnhardt Jr. runs in the 4th position. Johnson is 3rd. Kenseth is 2nd. And Tony Stewart out front at Atlanta. It's the home of Home Depot. Race is presented by Home Depot. Home Depot leads.
Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch. Jack Link's Jerky. Feed your wild.
Late afternoon at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series presented by Home Depot. 130,000 fans or thereabouts here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway watching round 7 of the chase for the Nextel Cup. And reigning series champion Tony Stewart, not a contender for the Cup this year, is out front leading several of the chase contenders. Time to take you through the field as we close in on the 100 lap to go mark. Tony's in front, and here's Matt.
And Bill, in 9 races here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Tony Stewart has had 8 single-digit finishes in those last 9, working on another one. He's led 70 laps. He said the car was edgy, and he said it also had a tight condition, but he thought that might have been more just following Dale Earnhardt Jr. out front in clean air. Says the 20 car is running very well. AB?
Matt Kenseth up to 2nd place. Remember, he got shuffled as far back as 15th earlier in the race when he had a little bit of an issue on a pit stop sliding through his box, reporting on the condition of his car to his crew and maybe forecasting a little bit ahead for what he expects track conditions to be.
I don't know what's going to happen with the track, Robbie. If it picks up speed, you know, I just don't know. It's so wore out, it might not pick up speed. But if the thing picks up speed, tightens up, I think we'll be okay. You know, I'm just too free, so I'm hoping it'll kind of get sticky.
Kenseth just giving up a little bit of ground on the racetrack. I just talked to his crew chief, Robbie Reiser. They were concerned about the inside of the right front tire when it came off the car on the last stop. It looked like maybe it was rubbing a little bit on something. Robbie told me he didn't know what it was. Matt?
Jimmy Johnson runs up in the second spot, says he's slowly moving up the racetrack, trying to find a better balance for his race car. It was getting tight again, so they made an air pressure adjustment and a wedge adjustment on the last stop back at lap 198. Marty?
Well, Matt, as BP talked about, this is the portion of the race where we think Casey Kane should be getting stronger, and indeed here he is. Here comes the 9 car. He said on the last run, a little bit too loose, but he was afraid to make any changes to it, so they made no chassis changes for the first time all day long, and 4 tires for Casey. Dale Earnhardt Jr. behind him is one of the many teams talking about how the racetrack is starting to change. The sun going down, the racetrack tightening up a little bit. Jr. says taking a while for the right front air pressures to build up. Tony Eury Jr. replied back, yeah, but I know what to do on the next stop. Matt?
And the solid run continues for Martin Truex Jr. in the 1 car, currently in the 6th position. He says, when I tried moving around, when I tried to move up top, it made the car worse. He said the car is getting tight again. The air pressure adjustment has helped slightly from their last stop, AB.
2-time Atlanta winner Carl Edwards has been in the top end this entire race, but just doesn't seem to be able to move any farther forward than where he is now, just in the middle of the group. Says his car lacks back-end grip. The rear end is sliding around quite a bit on the 99. Matt?
Another rookie, Clint Boyer, having a great day running in 8th. He says the shade down in turns 1 and 2 isn't really giving him the grip that he thought it would. He can run the car about 1 car length off the wall, and that's about as good as it gets. Any closer, he says, and it slows me down. Alan?
Just talked to Jeff Gordon's crew chief, Steve Letarte. They moved back up into the top 10 to 9th spot after repairing the crash damage a little while ago. Steve said the car is tight. That means when he goes into the corner like that, the front end does not want to turn, and that's slowing him down. But what a rally for Greg Biffle, that 16 car on the bottom of the racetrack trying to pass Jeff Gordon. Remember when Kyle Busch spun out back at lap 2? Greg Biffle got damage to the nose of that car in the jam up. He fell all the way back to the tail end of the field getting repairs. They've chipped away at the handling all day. He's just cracked the top 10. That
Back in Michigan when Jeff Burton had the motor failure, he rallied the troops around. He said, all right, we've got to put this behind us. Last week when he had the motor failure again, they went from 1st to 5th in the championship standings, and basically says mentality-wise, you just got to try to compartmentalize when bad things happen.
My goal last week, and it was take a bad situation and you know, let's don't forget it. Let's keep it in our minds. Let's remember it. But at the end of the day, let's make it a defining moment in a good way. That's not going to be the end of our deal. When this deal gets done, let's look back on it and say that was a defining moment. That was the moment that we found a way to be better, rather than just putting our hands up in there and say that's a defining moment because that's what lost us the championship. We're not going to think like that.
Right now, they are still fighting, trying to get the handle on that race car. 1 lap, he says, it's plowing. The next corner, he says, it is loose. Absolutely no grip for the RCR 31 car, Dave.
During the last run, Dale Jarrett's car was the worst it had been all day, according to the driver. Loose and tight. They lowered the track bar, changed 4 tires. Unfortunately, it made the car even harder to turn, and he's gone backwards since the restart. Marty?
Dave, this is what Mark Martin wants to see, a little green flag racing. He said earlier, all these cautions are killing us. Mark, very good on old tires compared to everyone else, but when those cautions keep coming out, he has to put new tires on, and that's hurting their program. Back in 13th, struggling with a race car that's a little too loose. Alan?
Well, opportunity is there for Denny Hamlin right now in this 11 car. He is the first car 1 lap down after struggling with the handling on this car much of the day. He just told the crew before the last stop, the handling is as good as it's been all day. If we can get a caution now, they'll get the lucky dog, get back on the lead lap. Who knows? Dave?
Kevin Harvick now 2 laps down in 22nd position. That's where he restarted. We've talked about him not being here for the final practice, but Todd Berrier, his crew chief, encouraged him to go to Memphis. He said, you know what? You won the Busch Series championship, but that doesn't mean you have to quit racing in that series. You made a commitment there. You go. He was all for it. Unfortunately, the car has just not been good today. The 5 car of Kyle Busch running laps down, they're improving that car. They actually replaced the left front headlight area, put a cap on it, as they called it, a part of a front fender to try to increase the aerodynamic efficiency of that car, and it has helped a little bit. He's picked up 4 spots since the restart.
Thank you, gentlemen. Those are the cars on the lead lap.
Hey, Marty, I got a
Yes,
question for you.
BP. Hopefully I have an answer for you.
Can Mark Martin make it on one more stop?
You know, I don't think anyone wants to make it on one more stop, BP, because of the tire wear. But Mark Martin and Dale Earnhardt Jr., in my area at least, have had by far the best tire wear. No marks on any of those tires for the 6 team today. A little spot on one tire for the 8 team today, but I don't think they would like to try and make it on one more stop.
No, I don't. I know none of them would like to try, but they might try.
They might have to. Jarrett's in 13th, Nemechek 14th, Casey Mears 15th. Those are the 15 cars on the lead lap. Everyone chasing Tony Stewart as the sun sets in Atlanta. Downtown Atlanta, we're in Hampton, Georgia, about 35, 40 minutes away. 45 if I'm driving, 30 if Wally's driving. Go online to NBCSports.com for a breakdown of pit road with Marty Snyder's analysis of who has the edge in the pits. It's only at NBCSports.com.
We're not talking about the pit reporter.
Tony Stewart continues to lead, but there comes Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car. He's only 0.6 of a second behind Stewart.
And getting closer by the lap.
A lot of traffic right now in front of Stewart, so Stewart's going to have to kind of roll out of the throttle a little bit more than he wants to. Try to pick a spot here, and that's going to let Jimmy Johnson close up even closer.
That's right. He was 0.6. That last lap, he was 0.4 of a second, and looks like next time by it's going to be about 0.2 of a second.
Johnson has led 4 laps today. Did not lead a lap here in March.
Thought that was going to cost him a little time there, BP, and I think it might have just a little.
Johnson didn't lead a lap here in March or last October.
0.2 of a second.
Jimmy's 6th and 16th in his last 2 starts here.
The 20 car, Tony Stewart, has come off the bottom. He's moved up the racetrack trying to find some grip, which tells me that everything is not perfect with that 20 car.
Weather part of the deal there, the sun setting?
Could be. Track getting a little bit cooler.
And are you coming over to that line of thinking that some guys might be forced to try and make it on one more stop if the caution doesn't come out? You're sticking with your...
No, I agree. Like Mark Martin, we reported he has battle for the lead. Here comes Johnson. He's on the inside of the 20 car.
Off the win at Martinsville and the 2nd place finish at Charlotte, Jimmy Johnson passes Tony Stewart.
I think if you're willing to gamble, that's a gamble. You know, Mark Martin's car comes in really, really good, but it takes too long for Mark's car to come in.
Last lap by, Mark Martin's car was the fastest car on the track.
So that's the problem. By the time Mark's car is really fast, he's 17, 18 seconds behind the leader. It's hard to make up 18 seconds on a leader.
It really is.
No matter how good your car is.
But they talked about this 48 car being really fast, and I talked about that at the very top of the show today. But we haven't seen any evidence of it till now. And all of a sudden, he is the class of the field, driving away from him.
And how composed and relaxed was Chad Knaus in the garage this morning?
He was really good.
Very optimistic and confident in his car, his crew, and the equipment and the driver. Matt.
And Bill, to make it through the frustration and the misfortunes they've had over the first 3 races of the chase, and then to start to turn it around, this team has more and more confidence as Johnson continues to pull away. First, he said before he made the pass on Stewart that his car was good up until the center of the corner. Then after he made the pass, he said the car is a little bit snug, but very good. It shows.
Just went by the 42 car, Casey Mears, his good friend, put him a lap down.
That leaves just 14 cars on the lead lap, and Nemechek would be the next victim. Jimmy Johnson was 39th at New Hampshire, 13th at Dover, 14th at Kansas City. Benny talked about his 24th at Talladega. Came back and got that 2nd at Charlotte, and then won.
Letters keep coming in with questions about Denny Hamlin and the number 11 car. Brian Simpkins writes, "Dear FedEx, what does Denny Hamlin do to relax?" It's funny you should ask, Brian. Denny was just saying that he finds a few hours of yard work to be a great way to unwind.
Jeff Burton is 12th, and this caution may have helped him tremendously because the handle on that car was clearly gone.
And he was about to go a lap down.
78 to go here in Atlanta. Nobody can make it to the finish from here without stopping. You comfortable with that, BP?
Oh, yes, very much so.
Denny Hamlin in that 11 car trying to race his way back onto the lead lap. One of the 10 drivers in the chase. Hamlin driving with the FedEx Cup colors this week.
17 car Kenseth is a little bit loose right now. Last couple of laps looked like he had his hands full. It looks like Junior in the 8 car was catching him a little bit, but now he drops back as Stewart got in trouble.
Yeah, hard against the wall.
Oh,
Casey
Kane.
Stremmy's in the wall.
David Stremme involved.
I don't think Casey may have just slid up against the wall. I don't see how much damage he has, but his car looked fairly clean on the left side and front and back.
Car's hurt bad.
Yeah, somebody.
It's a gutter.
Right now, Kane 8th in the chase as they run at this moment.
Oh, he got run into.
By Kane, I guess.
Wow. Casey Kane probably thought he was clear, didn't know the 40 was up there, but because you saw Casey just went hard to the right. Yeah, he was going up there to get his angle down into the corner. And probably was pretty surprised.
On board with Jeff Burton.
There we go. Oh, man, they just hooked together.
Keep digging, buddy. Keep digging. Good job.
And Stremme is in that wall hard.
Again, I don't know how you can't see him. He was right next to him.
Marty?
Yeah, guys, Casey Kane said that was completely my fault. He said to his spotter and cousin Cole Kane, you told me he was there. I just messed up. And then he was very upset on the radio, took complete blame, turned right into the 40 car, and may have cost these guys a shot at the championship.
Well, we knew coming into this race the sun would set on some drivers in the chase for the Nextel Cup Championship, and right now Casey Kane and Kyle Busch in a desperate situation. Kane took his car to the garage and climbed out just a few moments ago. Talking to Denny Hamlin, obviously frustrated and disappointed. We'll follow up on that. Right now we're going back to green with 71 to go. David Stremme, obviously. I said Denny Hamlin. I apologize for that.
I'll get you a program for next week.
Would you
Help
do that?
out a little bit.
Hamlin restarts 15th.
That had a little collision back there between 1 and 2. Kurt Busch, David Gilliland, and somebody else.
Well, there's still guys in the middle there.
Like Elliott Sadler and the other Aaron Ham car. It's time to get racy, though, isn't it? Going to get anything, it's time to try to get it. And Tony Stewart looks like he's going to try to get that lead from Jimmy Johnson.
Stewart's car a little bit better getting down to the middle, but it looks like Jimmy Johnson's car is a little bit better from the middle off the corner.
I'll take from the middle off about every time.
Absolutely. And if remember, you know, we've been talking about, I think it was Matt was talking about the 20 car being loose in. Don't want to be loose in at Atlanta. Gosh, it's hard to turn that steering wheel down into the corner if you're loose in.
Because you're running about 109 in the walls up there when the thing spins around.
Okay, we'll watch the guys running up front. Check with Marty back in the garage.
And Bill, Casey Kane's had a moment to calm down. He's talked to Ray Evernham. What happened on the track?
Just error by the driver. I mean, I knew he was there, and then I forgot he was there and just ran over him. I was looking ahead, trying to think where I was going to go next, and just screwed the whole deal up. So I don't know what to say other than that. McDonald's Dodge Charger was very good. It was so freaking loose the first half of the race, and we just kept making it better and better. The track was coming to us. I mean, it was a matter of time we were going to be leading that thing, and it was going to be fast, but driver error.
And I know a win started to creep into your mind because you guys were making the car better throughout the day.
Yeah, I mean, we were making it better and the track was coming to us. Everything we looked at, you know, everything we set up for yesterday was happening. Everything was going perfectly and screwed up, so it's disappointing. I think we had a shot at a good championship run.
Then your friend David Strimmy had a few words for you. What did he have to say?
I really couldn't understand what he was talking about. He asked me what happened. I told him I screwed up. I ran him over. It was all my fault. And then he goes, I don't know what your deal is. I was on the outside of you, da, 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 da. And I go, I just told you. I ran you over. It was my fault. Get out of here. Shut that.
Yeah, well, obviously a lot of frustration, and we have a battle for the lead on the racetrack, but the 9 team trying to get Casey back out on the racetrack, Bill.
All right, Marty, thanks a lot. Good job down there.
I love the way Tony Stewart is finding a new line, trying to find a new way to catch the 48 car, because he felt like as long as they were running in exactly the same spot, he was going to struggle to get by. But he moved up a little bit, trying to get some of that air on those front fenders, get some downforce. And looks like it might be working. So watch him go in here. Watch him drive up on the outside of that 48.
Well, the 48 just got a little bit loose down there. Just that little bit of loose was enough where he had to get out of the throttle just for a second. And that was enough for a 20 car, Tony Stewart, to take the lead.
New leader, Tony Stewart. Matt.
Bill, it looks like he came close to dusting off the cushion there when he made his pass on the outside of the 48 to Johnson. One note that Stewart made about 5 laps ago, he says you can see the sun has set, the temperature is going to drop and drop drastically over about the next 20 minutes. To keep that in mind, so when they make another stop, they know how far to adjust on this 20 car. Johnson felt like his car was just not too good at the beginning of the run, just much better later in the run.
Thanks a lot, Matt. We'll watch how that works out as the laps tick down here. Back to the garage and Marty.
Well, in the interest of equal time, let's give David Strimmy a chance. You had some words for your friend Casey Kane. What'd you have to say?
I just asked him what happened, and he said he screwed up. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Anybody's seen that. You know, I pulled up 1 and 2, let him have the bottom, and I'm on the outside, and he said his spotter didn't say I was there, but it's pretty obvious I was next to him. And just a misfortune for us because we're, you know, fighting to stay in the top 35, and you know, I understand he's in the chase too. So I mean, it's not like we're racing hard one another. So I guess everybody screws up once in a while. It's just a misfortune for a Coors Light Dodge. And go back and have me a beer now.
And Bill, as you can tell, a lot of frustrations down here in the garage area at the current moment.
Yeah, because so many guys are racing for so many different things. Obviously 10 guys racing for the championship, but everybody's racing for something, including pride. Well, this racetrack has a history of very close finishes, and we could be headed for another one tonight. 34 laps to go here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and the caution has just come out for debris on the backstretch. Debris on the backstretch, bringing out this caution with 34 to go. Pit road will be open when they get there.
Huge pit stops coming up because we know all these cars will change 4 tires. Question, who can do it best?
And how do you make your car the best for just what's basically half a fuel run?
Because if you have to make a major adjustment, that slows your pit stop down. So you need something minor that's really going to help.
14 cars on the lead lap, and they head down pit road. Marty.
Pit stops that could decide this race, guys, for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He said he was loose getting into the corner, tight from the center of the corner off. He said that got really bad at the end of that run, so he really wants to fix that condition. What they're going to do is they're going to go 1 round in the right rear of wedge, trying to help that tight condition. Matt?
Let's see if the Home Depot guys can get Tony Stewart off pit road first. Again, a small track bar adjustment. Stewart said whatever change you make sure it's not a huge one at 14.3 seconds.
4 tires, no changes for Matt Kenseth in the middle. He felt that debris that caused this caution was something thrown out of one of his fellow competitors' cars, and did not feel like that was terribly sporting of one of the other guys.
Wow. Well, Stewart does win the race off of pit road. Robbie Gordon in the 7 car is the lucky dog. He'll come around, be the 15th car scored on the lead lap. The drivers in yellow on the ticker at the top of the screen are the 10 men in the chase for the Nextel Cup Championship. Just 3 races to go after the checkered flag here in Atlanta. Field has been given the 1 to go. They'll double up for the restart. There'll be 30 laps to go. Now here are the championship standings right now. Kenseth came in as the leader, remains the leader, but you see it is spaced out a little bit more now.
But Johnson has gained 10 points in that 48 car. He was 41 going in today, now 31. And these guys have put themselves.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
If you would have said that
few races ago, they would have looked at you like, you got to be kidding me. You know, Jimmy Johnson, after Atlanta in 2004, left here in second place, 59 points out. 2005, second place, 43 points out. Right now, second place, 31 points out. Well, it will get very racy here. If you've never seen a race at Atlanta, this is basically the fastest track the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series runs on. The sun is set, it's much cooler, speed should be higher. And remaining in contention for the championship is on the line right here as we go back to green.
Yeah, this is pretty much a trophy dash right here. These guys have got to run the next 30 laps as hard as they can. They're not saving anything. You can't.
If you try to save anything, they're going to pass you from behind.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Harvick a little bit loose, slides up the racetrack, everybody splits him.
Gordon got by him.
He does not want to be there. See.
Harvick is 30th, 4 laps down.
He wants to get out of that middle.
Wants to get out of Atlanta. Meanwhile, Stewart trying to break away. That's a mess back in there. Mark Martin is back in that pack, in that 6 car.
See Truex right there, up the 6th spot right now. Just out by Biffle. Mark Martin, yeah, he's kind of blocked in.
Sterling Mullen at 14 car.
Yeah, I think you're right. The 29's looking for the exit.
Yeah. Mark Martin runs in the 11th spot. He's one of the contenders for the championship. Denny Hamlin in 14th. Jeff Burton is 17th, but 2 laps down after he had to pit because of a cut tire. Update from pit road is Dave Burns.
On the 29, as if I had to back up how Kevin Harvick feels about this place, he was on the radio. He said, I reckon I hate this place today.
I reckon I hate this place. No pun intended.
Yes.
That's what he's trying to do.
He looks like he's about to wreck, that's for sure.
Casey Kane has taken his number 9 machine back to the garage. 38th, 43 laps down, really cannot make up any positions, so his day is done.
Yes, Kenny Wallace, the car in front of him, if he were to stop now, he would still beat Casey Kane,
Right.
so there's no point in running the other 30 laps or so.
27 to go. And Harvick just continues to struggle. Denny Hamlin in that 11 car. The FedEx Cup machine runs in 14th. An update from Allen.
And in the danger zone, Bill, with all that traffic in front of him all over the racetrack, just really hoping something doesn't happen there. Hamlin back on the lead lap after getting a lucky dog a little while ago, but they kind of regret not staying out onto that last caution to lead a lap and get 5 bonus points. That might be handy later in the year.
See how that works out when we get to Homestead. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth for 3rd.
Everyone in the points battle trying to win this NASCAR Nextel Cup would love to see this pass stick. It would help Junior, but it also would make the 17 car 5 points closer to everyone.
Marty?
Well, Bill Jr. trying to take advantage of this early part of the run where they have been good for most of the day, although as the night has come in, they've gotten better towards the end of the run, trying for his 2nd top 5 of the chase. Junior, right before they went green, said, I love these 24-hour races where we start in the day and we end at night. A lot of fun for these drivers to end under the lights. Alan?
And Matt Kenseth just on the radio to his crew chief, Robbie Reiser, saying that's basically the same problem they've been having for the last couple of weeks. The last set of tires just doesn't handle like they want it to. His car not at its best when he needs it to be at its best, which is when that checkered flag is close at hand.
Thanks, Alan. We have a commitment to get in 60 seconds, our final 60-second commercial break. We'll come back and take you to the checkered flag in Atlanta. Caution has just come out.
On the right front, either a tire or the suspension parts. We're coming to you.
For Martin Truex Jr.
I mean, this kid, this team cannot catch a break. They run so well, but this has been the way it's ended so many times. Had a great run going today.
Tony Stewart still the leader. Then it's Johnson, Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth, and Greg Biffle. Gordon, Edwards, Nemechek, Boyer, and Mark Martin are the top 10. And you're right about these guys, Benny. They just
see the hub glowing. He had a wheel bearing go out in that right front hub.
That's going to be hot.
Yes, it is.
Unless the guys in front of him
He
all
just
come.
downshifted. He's coming.
He's thinking about it.
He's thinking, what's he going to do? Yes, he is. And all of them.
They're coming.
But Junior stayed out.
Waited to the last possible second to make the commitment line.
Did Mark get in the back of the 07?
We'll check into it, Matt.
And the call was Greg Zipadelli's. He said, look, I'd rather come get tires and lose the race that way than to stay out and be a sitting duck. They came, taking on 4 tires. Meanwhile, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson looking to make a huge gain in the points again. Second, first, AB.
Never was any question that Matt Kenseth was going to pit on this caution. He said, I'd rather come in and get 4 tires. Didn't like the way that set of tires felt on the car. Carl Edwards is away quickly. We'll check on his stop. Kenseth is gone. Looks like he's going to come out 3rd or 4th.
Hamlin was also on pit road. There you see Gordon, Mark Martin, Dale Jarrett, Casey Mears. Now, there's Junior. He stayed out.
He's a sitting duck.
I was going to say, now he's the sitting duck.
Now watch them. You have to make the commitment line. And Tony Stewart at the last second just yanks it to the left.
And that, when he veered back to the right, that's what caught Junior. He thought all of them were going to stay out, and he veered to the right, and by then he could not make that turn.
And it does look like Mark might have gotten into the back of Boyer. Marty?
Well, Bill, on the radio, Dale Earnhardt Jr. said, I didn't feel like coming. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. Now, Tony Eury Jr. wasn't as confident on the radio, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. got on his case, said, listen, you need to pump me up. You need to help me make believe that this is the right move, because I'm on the old tires out here, but they think, Junior thinks at least, that this is the right move to stay out. He said, we haven't had that many laps on these tires. I think we should go for it.
See how it all plays out. Well, we've talked about those Atlanta finishes. We're going to have one here. 2 tires for the 11 of Hamlin, just 2 tires for the 99 of Edwards. 17 to go, less than half a lap from the green. We check with Marty.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. said he wanted to be more aggressive. What do you think about your driver's call to stay out there, Tony Eury Jr.?
We're all right with it. I mean, I think if he can get big enough jump out there, he can probably hold him off. But, you know, we got 10 laps. It's a pretty good risk. But, you know, we were too tight back there behind them guys, and I don't think we could have beat them off pit road. So we just kind of went for it here, and we'll see what happens.
The 10 laps he mentions are 10 green flag laps on those tires. That's how much older his are versus everybody else.
Was a wheel bearing on the 1 car.
And the one advantage that Junior has, Carl Edwards changed 2. So he's not going to be as fast as Tony Stewart. He may hold up Tony Stewart and Jimmy Johnson just a little bit.
He spun the tires a little bit there in that restart. Junior did. And that's going to cost him a little bit. And, boy, look at how those 4 tires stick.
3 wide and turn 2.
Oh,
Right behind the leader. Mark Martin is in it.
Got Sterling Marlin, Jarrett, Boyer.
Mears.
Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Caution is out. Kyle Busch saw his championship chances in today. So did Casey Kane. And now it appears the same fate for Mark Martin.
And Rick Monroe once again waves the caution flag. Let's see what might have happened here. Well, that could be the problem down there.
It all started with Kenny Wallace down there in the 78 car. It looked like he got down on the apron and he got pinched by the 66 car. They had to slow down. Chain reaction. Everybody started checking up.
Outside, outside. Stay down, right there, caution down, outside.
Jeff Burton missed another one. This is on board with Dale Jarrett. He was in it.
Get up here, stay down.
There's nowhere for Jarrett to go.
No.
I mean, it just, he was locked in. I guess the 66 didn't block the 78. It looked like Kenny Wallace had some trouble down there on the bottom, which all these guys checked up because of, but.
There's Mark. 4 times he's finished second in the championship standings.
Mark, you know, at Charlotte he said it's over, and he goes to Martinsville and he gets a little hint of hope again. Well, guess what, Mark? You're right at Charlotte. It is over. Now let's watch for this high camera. See those cars?
The 66 is on the bottom.
Right.
Kenny Wallace comes down over the 66. They check up. Now all the guys behind him start checking up, but some of the guys don't see what's going on, and they run into each other. So it started with Jeff Green and Kenny Wallace.
Right. And then Sterling checked up, and that's where Mark got into.
Right.
Sterling Marlin in the 14.
Bobby Labonte, the 43 car, he checked up to avoid the crash. Sterling backed up, and by the time he got to Mark Martin, there's nothing he could do.
12 to go. Bobby Labonte was the lucky dog in the 43 car. Junior on older tires trying to hold off Tony Stewart.
Not going to happen.
Remember, Junior said he had to be more aggressive.
I don't know how much more aggressive he can be in this racetrack, but he falls in. Now you see Jimmy Johnson underneath Edwards. He's got 4 tires. Don't forget, Edwards only has 2. So he'll take that spot. 10 to go.
Johnson down low on Edwards. Matt Kenseth closing up behind them. Then Greg Biffle, and we've documented his comeback today as well. Stewart is not running for the championship, did not make the chase, but is the race leader. Earnhardt and Johnson and Kenseth are.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed by the 8 car down on Junior. He's running pretty decently, not to have stopped and changed tires.
Junior in second.
You're right, BP. I am too. I mean, you've got a lot of those guys behind him are on 4 tires. We've got 9 laps to go.
And the last time by, he was only a 1/10 of a second slower than Tony Stewart.
Kenseth trying to get under Edwards. Those are teammates. They both drive for car owner Jack Roush, as does Biffle, the car behind the 17.
And actually, Edwards is helping Earnhardt because these guys are having a hard time getting by Edwards. That's buying Earnhardt some time. Meantime, Stewart's just, he's going.
Jimmy Johnson goes by the 8 car, takes over that second position, but does he have enough time? 7.5 laps. Can he catch Tony Stewart?
Meanwhile, Kenseth is really hung up behind Edwards. Dives to the inside. Stewart tries to pull away. Johnson will give chase. 7 to go. That's for 4th. Kenseth had it at the line. Biffle is right on their bumper. Again, all 3 of those cars, the 17, the 16, and the 99, are teammates.
What was that smoke from? Oh, is that a fire down in the infield, I guess?
No, I think somebody may have had a problem. There, whoever that is, that's Boyer.
Yep.
Kenseth
squeezes in front. Now he goes after Earnhardt.
Allen.
I was just going to report on the fact that Matt Kenseth had not asked for any help getting around his teammate on the radio. His spotter had just said, I'll go down there and talk to Carl's spotter when Matt finished the pass. He never asked for any help. He raced him to get that spot.
And Boyer has coasted to his pit stall on pit road. Kenseth tries to chase down Earnhardt for the position and the points. Third, 4th, and 5th right there.
Another car very slow off turn 4.
We got somebody smoking off of 4. Yep. Oh,
Bliss.
That's too bad. He was in the top 10 right there.
He gets the black flag. Kenseth trying to catch Earnhardt while Johnson continues to try and catch Tony Stewart. That 20 car has been awesome all day in tonight.
4 laps to go.
Kenseth's going to try get up beside Earnhardt.
Wow. Boy, they come off that corner fast, don't they?
Not kidding.
Look how much faster the 17 is going into the corner, down on the bottom.
3 to go. Stewart leads, Johnson second. This is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. 2 years ago, the championship was decided by 8 points. These positions up front are worth 5 points each.
Junior still hanging tough.
Biffle's just going to follow Edward, or follow Kenseth. He's not going to pass him to take away the points from him.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
2 to go.
Big picture racing right here for the team anyway.
Stewart the leader, Johnson second. Again, Kenseth down low, Earnhardt in the high groove. Junior making those older tires work. Had 10 green flag laps on them. Stewart takes the white flag, last lap at Atlanta. Can Johnson get there? Can Kenseth get third from Earnhardt? And a car in the wall.
The 07 car.
Boyer trying to keep it high on the track. They've already taken the white flag. If the caution was to come out, the race would be over. Kenseth trying to make a move on the 8 of Earnhardt. This is for third.
Oh, Junior's getting loose. Instead of the 17, Kenseth's got loose. Got on the apron a little bit.
Tony Stewart takes the checkered flag.
Earnhardt. Just. That was close. Earnhardt's gone. Did I beat him? Kenseth's going. Did I beat him? That was close.
By 7/1000ths of a second, he beat him.
Tony Stewart out of the chase for the Nextel Cup, wins at Atlanta.
All right, now all the fans are down at the start-finish line, wanting to see what he's going to do now.
The Tony Stewart tradition. Get in the flag stand.
I'm impressed. He better give him a mattress, I'll tell you that, throw that on that racetrack.
Climbing down is the hard part.
He's going to take the ladder down.
Good thinking.
The defending series champion got knocked out of the chase for the Nextel Cup at the last moment in Richmond. Came back the next week, said we're going to win all 10. That hasn't happened, but very impressive run today.
He's won a couple of them.
Yep. And this is the same car that won at Kansas out of fuel. Coasted across the finish line.
I wonder what car they're bringing to Texas.
You know what? We can ask him. Okay, Tony hanging out with Thumper, our camera guy there in the flag stand. Meanwhile, let's go down, hear from the guys that were in the race as well.
Well, Bill, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has walked down to the 17 team. Congratulating those guys on a great run. At what point, Junior, great run by Junior team, at what point did you know you were sitting duck with the guys that had the fresher tires?
When I was the only one that pitted, I was going to do what they did, but they were I couldn't. I just made the decision not to. I wanted to get the tires if they did, but they were doing everything, swapping and just carrying on, coming on the pit road, so I just kind of got left out there, sort of like duck, duck, goose, but we hung on, and I don't think we'd have run third if we hadn't stayed out. I really don't. Matt and them guys are pretty good. My pit crew, if they could have beat a couple guys off pit road, we might have been able to get third, but that wasn't a bad decision in the end, so we hung on there.
How would you describe that battle between you and Matt?
Like old times, man. One of my good friends, and I enjoy racing with him, and we don't really get to do it that often in the Cup Series. He's been on and become a champion, and you know, when he runs good, I don't. When I run good, he don't. We haven't really been able to race each other for wins like we did in the Busch Series, so it's a lot of fun.
Just like old times, Bill.
You betcha, Matt.
For Matt Kenseth, which ended on the up note, but boy, describe this day because it was unusual.
Yeah, I mean, really all weekend has been. We just haven't ran very good, and you know, we got lucky with the rain qualifying, and the guys did a good job fixing our car from Saturday to today. It didn't run good at all on Saturday, and these guys did a great job. They were second to none on pit road today. They just kept gaining spots every stop. They had a bunch of good stops, and you know, that's how we have to run to have a shot at it. So it feels good to get a good finish. I wish we could have ran with a 20 and a 48 and 8. Them guys were better than us pretty much all day. So we still got to get our stuff tuned up a little bit more to run how we did earlier in the year. But yeah, that was a good solid run for us.
Junior City had a lot of fun racing with you, neither young. It was like the old days in the Busch Series.
Yeah, it was fun. It would have been more fun if I could have beat him the line by a foot instead of the other way around. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was just I thought with the newer tires I'd be able to get by, and I could get down you know, up to him in 3 and 4, and I was plowing too bad up in 1 and 2 to get it done. So it was a lot of fun.
scores another fourth-place finish here at Atlanta. Bill.
Thank you, Matt. Tony Stewart won here in March of 2002. He is back in victory lane in October of 2006. Ready to celebrate, and here's Alan Bestwick.
I think he already started the celebration up on the fence in the grandstand on the front stretch. He had a request to do a burnout through the sponsor's logo out on the tri-oval grass. But Tony, congratulations. The fence climb's back.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time that we had a good chance to do it again. So we ran out of fuel at Kansas City. That's why we couldn't do it there.
Your car was good all race long. You were almost always in the top 5, but it seemed like you did most of your leading after the sun went down. Coincidence or plan?
I just think it was coincidence. I mean, this Chevy Monte Carlo SS was awesome today. It was, you know, we had Bob Nardelli, the CEO of Home Depot, here cheering us on today, and our good buddy Johnny Morris from Bass Pro Shops here who sponsored this race. And I told him the other night in Macon, Georgia, when we opened up his brand new Bass Pro Shops in Macon, that I wanted that bear really bad. So
buddy, we're glad
finally we got it. First year Johnny sponsored the race here, there was a big old bass on it. And I think I freaked out so bad because I wanted the trophy that I burnt my tires off that last session. So now with this big old bear, now I got something to put in this new house.
Late when they had the last set of pit stops, a couple guys didn't pit, took 2 tires and so on. Any worries on your part that you could get back to the front?
No, when the 99 was the only one that pitted that came out ahead of us, we knew he took 2 tires, and we knew we'd get by him pretty easy. We knew that we could get by the 8 because tires were so important. You know, we were sitting there on the yellow before we had a chance to pit, trying to figure out what we were going to do, and I thought our tires were all right, but Zippy said we had lost 0.6 of a second from the beginning of that run to 10 laps later when the caution came out. So with 20 laps to go, we had to put tires on it.
When you did not make the championship chase, you said you just wanted to try and win all 10 races. You've gotten 2. That's not a bad start on that goal.
Yeah, it's better than last year. I mean, last year being in the chase, I couldn't win any of the races at the end. So it's awesome. I mean, if you look behind you and see the size of this trophy and see how unique it is, it's not hard to understand why everybody wanted this thing tonight. I mean, Johnny Morris and everybody at the Bass Pro Shops do such an awesome job of giving us one-of-a-kind artwork for a trophy. And, you know, Johnny's the one that got me into the outdoors and has really made me appreciate the outdoors and life and deer and turkey and especially fishing. So I'm going to build a log home in Columbus, Indiana, and that thing's going to go in somewhere really, really special when we get it built.
All right, last question. Wally and Benny were speculating that you'll vote to bring this car to Texas next week the way that it ran here today. Would that be your vote?
Well, as odd as it sounds, we deliberated on whether we were going to bring this car here or whether we were going to save it for Texas. And I told him I'd rather have it here, but I think Benny and Wally are right. I don't think these guys will mind trying to turn it around in a week, so we'll do what we can.
Jimmy Johnson has gained 130 points on first in the last 3 races. That's amazing. I mean, like I said, 3 races ago, if you would have asked Jimmy Johnson got a shot, they would have said probably not, more likely not.
And if you ask Kevin Harvick that right now, he'd say the same thing until you tell him that.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick is only 121 back, and he gained how many? 130?
130 in 3 races.
3 races. That's how many more races we have.
So we saw the points. You think Harvick's there? Is Gordon too far back at 146 in 7th spot?
Yeah.
I believe he is.
I think he is. Just 3 races to go, I believe he is.
And Matt Kenseth obviously is one of the most consistent guys in this sport. He's on top, and we're going to tracks that you would expect him to run well at.
And once again today, we thought he was going to be miserable, and he comes out of here.
He turned that mud pie into apple pie.
Exactly. 4th place finish.
Somebody talked about that earlier today. Well, that was you. Good job, Wally. Well, we enjoyed it. Hope you did too. Just 3 races remain in the chase for the Nextel Cup. We'll see you next week